Hi, good evening, everybody. I am Rahul Said here from Novuska International. Thank you for joining us on this webinar. This is our third webinar that we're running for the month of June. Since we last launched our webinar in late May, and I'm excited to meet up and know each and every one of you who has decided to commit your time to catch us on this webinar to learn about the possibilities of exploring whether is the US market, especially in particular the US real estate market, is it something suitable for you to be able to embark on in the world of investments, in the world of hopefully setting up a passive income vehicle that you can have to allow yourself and your family to have additional source of income, to be able to fulfill some aspirations down the road. So these are some of the things that we have in store for you over the next 2 hours or so. And thank you so much for joining us today. And once again, if you wherever you're from, I will hope that I can see some form of interaction, some form of participation from each and every one of you here on this particular Zoom call. Just drop a message in the chat group, in the chat right here in Zoom itself, and I would be happy to know where you're from, and hopefully I can. If you're from a very in a country far away, I would really like to call out and give you a shout out. And thank you for taking the time to be on this call. Well, without further ado, here I would be explaining to you a couple of so-called ground rules, the way that we will run this particular webinar to be as effective as possible to each and every one of you here. So the first and foremost, I believe each and every one of you would probably have a lot of questions. A lot of questions will probably ring as we go along on the webinar. You have a lot of questions that you want to ask, right? And these questions might be something that you might have, and you're wondering, hey, I need to have this answered right now, right? So what I want to say is this: write down the questions if you want in the chat group, okay? However, for my presentation to be as effective as possible, to run smoothly, to flow smoothly, I would like to keep your questions at the end. Okay. However, this is where I will have some of my team members in this particular call, whereby if those questions are simple in nature and they can answer for you, they would answer for you in private or in public in a particular group. So if those questions are a little more technical, I will receive a notification from some of my team members here in private, and I will take note of those questions. And if I'm able to answer them effectively, I will answer them to you in this particular call for the benefit of everybody to understand. All right, so most of the time, some of the questions that you might have would be quite easy for us to answer. And thank you, Ms. Nur Hassan from Kathmandu. Wow, Kathmandu, you're from Nepal. Okay, nice to see you. Okay, this our first Nepalese ever to join us in our event. All right, so thank you and welcome. So sorry, just cough. So here is where I want to be able to explain to you one more time that any questions that you might have would be, you can ask those questions immediately as soon as you want in the chat group. If they are simple in nature that my team can answer, they will answer on my behalf. All right. And if they're a little complicated, and they would probably trigger a note to some of my team members who would let me know immediately that, hey, I have a question here from someone, and it's quite something that you might want to address for the benefit of everybody who's attending this particular Zoom call. And I would be more than happy to answer it in this webinar setting. Okay, so let's continue. So here here's where I'm going to explain and start the particular slide. So I'm going to share my screen. There you go. So let me just resize a little. All right. Okay, Novuska International is the company that I'm representing today. Okay. And the main thing that we'll cover today is secrets of US real estate uncovered for you, for the benefit of especially investors in this part of the world, in Asia, to be able to penetrate and break into the US market. Okay, in particular the US real estate market. The US real estate market is a rather open economy. It's an open market. Anyone from anywhere around the world has the ability to buy US properties. So that's something that you can take note. You don't have to be a US citizen to buy those properties there. You can be anyone and buying property through US entities that you can fully own 100%. And these are some of the things that I will cover over the next hour or so. Okay. So some of the secrets that we will learn today is how do we acquire US properties at just 20 to 30% of the market value. And you're seeing it correctly, 20 to 30% off the market value, not this from the top. Okay, I'm saying if the property is 100,000, you are only paying $20,000 for the property. You're not even paying 70,000, 80,000. No, you're paying 20,000 to 30,000 only for the property with no bank loans involved. Okay, so you don't start your investment with any form of loan or debt. Okay, that's secret number one. Secret number two is how do we use some form of leverage without using any of the banks. Okay, because leverage is key in property investment. Most people, in fact, almost everyone around the world, they make money in property investment through the form by using effective leverage. Okay, and most of the leverage that we understood is from the banks, right? Banks are the one giving you the leverage. Okay, but I will explain, although banks can be useful, but sometimes bank can be notorious. Okay, and I will explain that in secret number two. And secret number three, especially if someone who's only earning about 2 to 3% in investment returns a year, okay, you are probably looking at a vehicle that can allow you to 10x your current returns. If you're earning 2%, maybe hopefully 10x to 20%. You're earning 3%, hopefully 10x to 30%. Okay. Now, if you're someone who's already very experienced, an investor who's already earning 30, 40% a year, okay, well, I applaud you. You're doing a great job in that, all right? So probably if you want, you can just stay through and I'll explain to you why some people who's already earning 20 to 30% a year in their investments are also considering what we do. Okay, one of the reasons why they consider doing what we do is because they are also able to dilute the risk, reduce the risk exposure that they have in their current investment. Okay, because most of the time when they're earning very high returns, it also coupled in with very high risk. So when we talk about property, the general understanding and general consensus among many investors that property are considered lower form of risk because it's a hard asset. Okay, so how you approach property investment is important. So I will explain secret number three in a short while later as well. So these are some of the things that we will cover today. All right. So far, everything okay? If it's good to go, if you guys are doing well, doing okay, just let me know in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to continue. And this is the thing. As you pass energy to me, I will be able to last through to the night, because I'll be very frank, standing in front of you for 2 hours and a half or 2 hours can be rather daunting on my back. Okay. So I'm hoping for as much energy as possible from each and every one of you for me to push forward. Okay. So some of the things that we will cover today. Introduction to Nobelsky and the founder, myself and Ice, okay, the CEO. We will also introduce you to the world of US real estate, and then we will do a bit of a comparison between local real estate and American real estate, okay? And the three secrets that we covered earlier. I will also share with you some real case studies, and lastly, I will be sharing with you our service, okay? So essentially, when we run this webinar, we are sharing with you the service that we would like you to explore and check upon to see, hey, is this service that Nobelsky offers something useful for me? Now, I'm going to say this upfront and as fast as possible. There is no selling of any workshop or courses here. Okay, there's none. All right, and you're also not buying into a mastermind or a coaching session whereby I'm going to encourage you and coach you to get your first property. No, that's not what we will do. Okay, because I've tried that model before and it's not something doable, especially when the people here are not from the US, they're not local to America, they are from the other side of the world. Okay, so it's not something easy to do. So what instead we pivoted towards is creating a model whereby we have the service that you can just use our service to be able to have a business, set up a business in America that will run by itself by us professionally. Okay, so you are totally creating this as something passive. It's a passive activity in total. So we will run the entire show for you. So I will share with you our service later on at the end. All right. Okay. So some of the questions that you might have, some people I noticed in our previous webinar, they are always jumping about 3-4 steps ahead by asking how much is it, how much is that. They're always demanding answers on the spot. Okay. However, if I just jump and put the cart before the horse, that it will be problematic, because once I answer that, then you answer, hey, but what about this? And then I'm going back and forth, and then you will confuse a lot of people. So allow me the chance to be able to flow through our presentation as easily as systematically as possible, so that you will have a proper understanding, a good understanding on what we do, okay, and you are educated enough to understand, oh, this is what they do, that these are the services that we offer. All right, so if you're interested, just stay throughout to the end. I'll be more than happy to share this with you. If any questions, as I said again, drop your questions in the chat. If any of my team member can answer them, they will answer for me. If it's something complicated, my team will inform me in person, and I will get the notification here, and I will answer it on their behalf later on. Okay. All right. So number one rule of real estate investing: You make money when you buy, not when you sell. Okay, that's the number one rule of real estate investing that I've hold on through to our investments so far, by making sure that we make money on the buy. Right, guys? On the buy, not on the sell. Meaning, what does it mean when we make money on the buy? When we acquire a property, simple to understand, we have acquired it at a major discount. Right? 60%, 50% discounted price from the market value. And that discount price is what we pay for. Okay, we only pay 30%, and as of date to date, our average value is 20% of the market. We have about 49 properties totally now for ourselves and our investor, and the average of all these properties about 18.something%, about 20% of the market value. Okay, so that's so far what we have achieved for ourselves and our investor. We only pay 20% on average across all property. So we make money on the buy, not on the sell. Okay, so what you do with the property later on, fix and flip it, or you can choose to hold and earn rental income, is up to you. But make sure you make money on the buy. Okay, we never ever pay market value for any of these properties. That's our number one thing that we never ever want to do. Never ever pay market value for anything. Okay, so I want to share with you a video of one of our current clients and investor. Sorry, he's closing his eyes, but he will open his eyes in a very short while. Okay, so just listen to him. All right, he is going to give you some insight about working with us, right, and how he got started himself in the world of real estate in the US. Okay.
Richard Janey. I am an owner of an agency back in Singapore, a real estate agency. I lived in Singapore for 40 years, always wanted to get involved in the US real estate, but I didn't know how. So when I met Ralph back in Singapore, he gave me the skeleton or the outline of how to do it. But I think when we came out to Bali, then I met all his counterparts in the US, and it was a very straightforward, open sharing session. So I think it answered a lot of questions which I had in my mind, and it gave us a lot of confidence. We now know exactly who we're going to deal with in the US, and we have a lot more confidence and knowledge now. So if you want to invest in the US, this is the place to go to.
All right, so that's Mr. Richard Janey. So Mr. Richard Janey is one of our investors, and sorry, and he has already started on this journey about a year plus back. Okay, he's an owner of a real estate agency here in Singapore, and him and his group acquired properties in New York and Jacksonville. But I'm going to explain New York first because that's the biggest bulk of his investment. So he acquired 4 properties there with the group in total. Okay. So he's the KAO. He's also Polish and from Poland. He has a family here, married and locally in Singapore, and he has a family here in Singapore, and he's also from Poland. And 4 properties acquired in Orange County, New York, by his own capital that he contributed to the group that bought these 4 properties is $45,000. This is what he invested, okay? But the total group contribution is about $278,000. $278,000 inclusive of repair costs plus acquisition of all these 4 properties are all they require to buy these 4 properties in New York. Okay, and New York properties that we bought are really, these properties are really cheap that when we acquire them, to the point where when we acquire this property, the 4 properties has a total combined market value of $760,000. So imagine this, the value is $760,000. I only paid less than $200,000 for this property, a portfolio growth of 273%. Okay, so that was the total growth of their portfolio when the group acquired these 4 assets. Right, so that was amazing. So in fact, they're quite happy, and some of these properties are being flipped for profit, and some of the properties are being sold for rental income. Okay, sold to our rental investors for rental income. So these are some of the things that I want to explain to you today. All right. Next, okay, so here is a bit about myself. So I hope I've explained about one of our clients. Okay, this is a bit about myself. I'm Ralph, and I'm the father of 2 beautiful kids, and Leila and Yusuf. So they are my heart, they are my life, and the main reason why I do this is mainly for them. Okay, and a lot of you probably here are parents, and you are probably looking at some things to generate for and to ensure that your kids do not have to probably struggle too much. Okay, but sometimes it's good for them to struggle, but don't have to suffer, and in the future secure them for life. So these are some of the reasons why I am involved in this business. My main reason, my main motivation is these two monkeys here. And I'm the founder and chief investment strategist at Noble Sky International. No, I'm not serving as a CEO of the company. I'm looking purely on the investment side of things because some of our investors appreciate that I look just purely on the investment side. So I focus only on that. And I founded this company back in 2014 in Singapore. And so far, we've assisted more than 200 investors across the world. So although we run in only our events only within the region, but within the region, we attracted investors from Europe, from Australia, from Canada, from even from places like UK, Australia. So they came to our event, all right, locally when we ran those events here. And what we do is mainly help them break into the US real estate market. Okay, so we invested quite more, about 50 properties to date in a span of 2 years or less, and they were acquired at an average of 20% of market value, or actually that's about 18 point something percent. So that's not too bad. So I hope it is something to give you reason to stay through all for the rest of the 2 hour, for the rest of the few 1 hour plus. Okay, so this is one of the reasons that I'm hoping to hook you at least to stay through. And a bit about how we all started. This is Uncle Trump, now known as President Donald Trump. Okay, this is how it all started. All right, I was in National Achievers Congress in San Jose, California, back in April 2012. That was me looking at Donald Trump when he appeared on stage for this particular event. All right, where there's Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki, and I got a free ticket to attend this event, almost like a VIP ticket, in fact. But this is like some of you might be familiar. You know those events where they bring a lot of special speakers all across the world, success resources in Singapore. They have all these events, right? And they bring all these keynote speakers from all across the world. So I got a free ticket to the US version called National Achievers Congress. And when I saw these three on stage, at that point in time, Trump was not too bad. He was rather, it makes sense business-wise. He wasn't in politics yet, I think. But when I was there, okay, and a lot of people were looking forward to Trump. Then Tony Robbins obviously started the ball rolling, okay, and he brought the crowd up on their knees, on their feet, and then we just roll through the whole thing. Kiyosaki came on board, speak a lot of sense on finance, and Trump end off the entire event. So it wasn't too, it's quite good. And I kind of enjoyed it. When I heard Trump himself speak, he made a lot of sense. So when I decided to go to the US then, it wasn't just to attend the event, it was also to skydive. This is one of my main love. Now, in case some of you are wondering, hey, if this guy is skydiving, he's helping us with our investment, I'm not going to trust him. Trust me, skydiving is a very safe spot. You're more likely to get hit by a car than to get injured in skydiving. So I am, that was me in my hat, that was my graduation hat. So they have that hair, so I graduated. So I did skydiving in Miami that time. Not Miami, in Florida. Although I know it says Skydive Chicago, but the plane is Skydive Chicago, but where I was at Sebastian, Florida. So it was great. That's me in my element. I love skydiving. So I do skydiving for my passion. My number one thing that if I can do is to hopefully retire and be able to do adventure traveling all across the world. This is what I want to do, skydiving in particular. Okay. And I also did a bit of exploration all across the US. So that was me exploring from West Coast to East Coast, back to the West Coast. It was a great time. Then I attended that event in San Jose. And eventually, I decided to return back to the US by attending this workshop, my first ever exposure to US real estate, okay, in 2014, in January 2014, because I decided after going to the US in 2012, I had a revelation to myself. I told myself, okay, like an epiphany, okay, I think it's time for me to break out. Because I was doing very well in my previous job. Right? I'm earning about 6 digits a year in my previous job in sales, and I was doing very well, in fact, okay. So, but after 2013, 1 more year, then I decided, okay, I think I want to break out and attempt business on my own, in particular in US real estate. So in January 2014, I attended my first ever real estate investment training for tax sale investment. Now, tax sale investment is a niche in real estate in the US, okay? Real estate in America has many different forms. One of the niche, okay, is tax sale investment. So I attended this program. They came to Singapore, sell a workshop, and I went to Vegas eventually, in Green Valley Ranch Resort, right? And the cost of the workshop plus lifetime coaching that I paid for, I was naive at that point in time. Make a guess, how much? Want to make a guess? 5, 4, 3, 2, what? 20,000. I kid you not, I wish I had the receipt still, but I paid 20 grand for the workshop. It's not a workshop, just a workshop. I paid workshop plus lifetime coaching. Okay, that's my coach. Actually, the coach is not bad. His name is Frank. Okay, he was a rather good coach. But I realized it's only so much that he can coach me because I'm not a citizen of the US, you see? And a lot of stuff he's pushing me and encouraging me to find on my own. So I learned a lot of stuff by myself, picking up things. I had to pay more for things, and they took 20 grand just like that, and boom, and now they kind of like disappeared. So they no longer around, although the company is still around, but I no longer have any form of service that I'm enjoying from them. I'm learning things. I learned more things on my own than from the workshop. So you see, some of the issues that I had by attending workshops is because they're there, especially for US companies, right? They come to Asia selling workshop and then they're gone. And I don't want to do that. Okay. And I want to be able to, instead of selling workshop, I'm offering you a service, like a proper, hey, this is what you do, this is what you get. All right. Not a workshop telling you and then encouraging you to do on your own. Okay. We have a workshop element, and the workshop part is free. Okay. It's for you to be educated. All right. But not, our monetization doesn't ever come from selling workshop. That's not what we do. All right. Okay. So that's what I had from them. And that was the first experience. But at that point in time, after graduating the workshop, I was fired up. I was like, oh, I'm excited and ready to go. Right. I'm ready to go. Okay. I'm going to buy my first property. And you know, you're just fired up, right? And then of course you're like, after finishing workshop, everybody's like, whoa, okay, now time for us to make millions, right? So my understanding was, okay, I think what I'm going to get is houses like this. I'm going to pay 5,000, then sell for 200,000. All right, this is what I thought will happen for me. Buy 5,000, sell at 200k, like boom. Okay, I'm going to make money on the spot, on the go, immediately. All right, now then I can just repeat and buy another property at 5,000, make another 200,000 in 3 months. That was what I had at that point in time. But expectation and reality, two different things. Huh? So instead, we maybe pay 5,000 for this kind of house in, I don't know where is it at, okay, and good luck selling it, right? Okay, some haunted place, whatever that, that you can probably pay this property 5,000 or sometimes maybe 500 even, it can be, it's possible, all right? And I don't know, this looks like The Conjuring. So I had a smack to my face, reality-wise, right? And I realized, okay, this is not something. If it's so easy whereby I can just buy a 5,000, sell at 200,000, everybody will probably be doing it and making a lot of money, and they just be minting real estate millionaires by the minute. Okay, but that's not to be the case. Okay, and I found out the hard way. With all these expectations that I had in mind, I had to wash it off, all right, and totally dissolve it and totally create new realities for myself. So my coach helped me out whereby I bought my first 4 properties from the auction. So I decided and strategized, and I thought, okay, I'm going to focus in Texas. Okay, in Texas, Houston in particular, because they're the biggest county in Texas. So I went down to Houston, and I decided in January, I attended a workshop. In February, I went back to Singapore. Then I flew back on February. Here, this is the workshop in, this is the auction in February. So you see here, this is this auction, okay, I attended. There was a lot of people. Okay, but first time, right? My first ever auction ever in my life. And there's a lot of people there. Most people don't look American. Okay. So I attended the workshop. I attended the auction. I apologize. I attended the auction. Okay. Without being prepared at all. With the understanding that it's going to be so easy for me to buy property. Because first time, right? You're a noob. You're a newbie. You're a rookie. You're nobody there. And I thought I'd be able to buy some amazing property at just a few $1,000s. So what I did then was that I didn't even prepare my funds properly. I sent my funds late from Singapore, my account in Singapore, and by the time I arrived, the US is after the auction has ended. So I fly into America, I didn't even prepare properly, and I didn't really do my research, didn't drive by around the property for the list. If you see here at the back, the paper here that they pasted on the glass panel, those are the list of properties being sold. So I didn't even drive through any of them. I just went online and then search and never even prepare. So obviously you think, first one, pass or fail? Did I win anything, or I didn't win anything? What do you think? On the very first auction, did I win or no? The answer is fail. Okay, I failed. My first auction in February 2014 was a failure. All right, it was nothing. I got nothing. Okay, I wasn't even prepared. They said, okay, the winner have to pay money on the spot. On the spot. I didn't even have anything. I only had like maybe my debit card or credit card then. Okay, and I wasn't even ready to pay for anything. So flying all the way to the US, not prepared, and spend money. And my first few trips to America, okay, was expensive because I didn't know how to manage my expenses. Okay, then I went back to Singapore, right? Okay, I didn't tell anyone that I didn't win anything. Okay, some people was wondering, did you get any property or whatever? Are you a real estate tycoon now? They were asking me, they're being disgusting, right? So I decided, okay, I'm not gonna be giving up. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna try again. Okay, so then I tendered again in March because they run auction every month in Houston, Texas. In March 2014, I flew back in. I fly in on February for 2 weeks. I fly back to Singapore, then I fly back. Why did I do that? At the point in time, I didn't even think of paying for the air ticket, right, as something of a problem. But actually, those will erode your total profitability. Okay, because those are expenses that you don't see. All right, and then there's hotel costs, there's car transportation costs, there's gas costs, there's meals and all that. These are expensive. So I went back in March here and I re-attended this auction, but this time I'm ready. I did all my research on the property, okay, online. I prepared beforehand. I transferred the funds over. I think I transferred the funds over about like 20,000, 30,000 USD then. That's what I had to buy. I was ready. Okay, I'm ready to buy properties then. Okay, I'm ready. So I went down, did my at least about a week in advance before the auction start. Did all the drive-by, went to all the properties, spent about 3 days to drive to all these properties, hundreds and hundreds of kilometers of driving. It's crazy. Take pictures, video, organize them in my spreadsheet, load them on my iPad. Very beautifully created, very beautifully researched with all pictures and analysis and narrative of the property. All beautifully done, right? Okay. And wow, okay, I have this info. Now I'm going to be able to buy something. So this is what I did. I went down to the auction. You see all these people there? Before the auction started, I had my iPad in front of me. And what happened was, I load, and then there was an old couple who saw what I did. And they were just holding their newspaper because the properties were also publicized in the newspaper, right? What is on sale, what's on auction. So they came to me and they said, "Wow, not bad. You're really clever. You did all this research. This is what you did, yeah." And I happily shared with everyone. I happily shared my info, right? Yeah. This is what I found. This is the property, and then apparently it was one of the property they were targeting. And she was discussing with her husband. They were talking to themselves. And then before they took, and then they start writing down info. They were like stealing. I didn't know they were like stealing my research. But I was this idiotic Asian guy in the middle of the whole place, sharing my intel with everybody there. And I was like, oh, okay. So someone came to me, and before you know it, I was like alone. There were like 5, 6 people crowding me, looking at my info and they start stealing my data. And you know what? That's not something you should do, guys. Okay, that's something that you should never ever do. See, I was new, right? So I was sharing, and then I didn't realize these people are competing against me. They compete against me, and they had more money than me, so I ended up not winning anything. And the second auction, this one in particular, I remember there was a lady who is rich, a lot of money, all she had was a handbag, and anything I bid for, because she saw a lot of people crowding me, right? She knows that I had data in my hands, and what she did was, she always outbid everything that I bid for. That was annoying. The white lady who did that against me every time. I feel like strangling her at that point in time, because I know that she's just standing there with nothing, just a handbag. And anything I bid for, she will always outbid. I don't bid for it, she don't bid. So she just came with more money. So that was annoying, and I didn't enjoy it. So I noticed that I learned my lesson then. Okay, this time, okay, if I go back to the US, I didn't win anything. My second one is also a fail. So I went back to Singapore. All right, spend my return trip. It's not going back to JB or Woodlands, guys. It's going back all the way from Houston to Singapore. That was like a 30 hours flight. Okay, because there's a 12 hours layover in Beijing or something. Okay, so that was insane. So went back, re-strategized. Okay, I spent so much money traveling back and forth, so much hours, so much energy, and 2 auctions so far failed. Okay, I cannot have this on me anymore. I need to do something to ensure that I will win at the 3rd auction. Okay, so in April, I decided to fly back to Houston. Okay, so my 3rd flight to Houston in a span of 3 months. I'm not kidding you. Okay, do you think I win, or I didn't win anything during this auction? What do you all think? What do you think? I won or I didn't? Okay, so this is what I'm going to say. All right, my 3rd auction finally. All right, oops, I won. Okay, I finally won my 3rd auction. Okay, so that's me. I finally won. I went down to the auction. I did not share any info. I remained stoic. I don't care. I don't hide. I went through all the drive-by. Didn't hide my data. Okay, I think someone remembered me recalled me from the previous auction. They looked, but I didn't even bother to address anyone. Didn't talk to anybody at all. I don't bother to socialize with anybody. I just went to the auction. I look at my data. I know whatever's coming up, what I'm going to bid for, my maximum bid. That's it. Okay, and then I hide, and then I whatever I would bid for, I subtly bid at a corner instead of being the center of the sorry, excuse me. Okay, so I subtly bid for it. So eventually I did win. And that's me when I won my property, my first ever property in the US. Okay, finally I got it. Okay, I won it. I went in front. Okay, I paid for it. And that's me. I paid for it $28,000. Okay, for a bunch of condos that I bought in Audubon Park in Houston. That was not too bad. Okay, so $28,000, a total value about $250,000. So I actually did this together with the CEO. So I will explain to you in a short while who she is later. Okay, so that's me. And she took a picture of me then, okay, where we acquired the property. There's 4 units that we acquired, and we decided to keep it as rental instead. Because at that point in time, we need cash flow. Okay, so we need monthly cash flow. So if you notice, I paid $28,000, but the monthly cash flow is $3,000 a month. But $650, $750, and $1,000 for the property that we refurbished to an Airbnb, which I will explain later soon. Okay, and in fact, I broke even after at cost plus the acquisition cost plus renovation cost. I broke even in 18 months for this property. It wasn't too shabby, right? It wasn't too shabby, and I did quite well. We did quite well in our first property. We had 4 units that of condos that we rent out, and then wow, not too bad. And we earned the income, and the income was able to sustain us for a little of our expenses that I needed, because I was at the point in time running my business by myself and was jobless. I left my previous job, so then we were living on this rental income. In fact, in the US. Okay, so then I thought, okay, after this property less, I want to go for one more. Okay, I have some money left, about $10,000. Okay, about $10,000, and then I went back to Singapore. In May, I went back to the US and decided, okay, it's time for me to buy my fifth property lah. I want to buy my 5th property and acquire it. Okay, and hopefully with $10,000, the rest of my expenses I pay by credit card. Not something I will advise any of you to do. I was naive then. Okay, back in 2014. Okay, and I decided, okay, this time I want to fly. Okay, but I want to move away from Houston, go to San Antonio, another county in Texas, which is Bear County, they call it. Okay, so I did my boo-boo by my first ever 1 month later. Okay, my boo-boo is a big boo-boo. Okay, because I bought this property without research. Alright, there was no research done when I acquired this property, meaning there were a lot of properties that I researched for. Okay, but my capital was just $10,000, not enough for me to buy anything. In fact, okay, except for this one in particular, which I will explain soon. Okay, every property that I was researching on went above my maximum bid. I couldn't afford them. Okay, and I couldn't afford. I fly in all the way, did my drive-by. Okay, then what I wanted to buy went way above my maximum bid, so I didn't have the money to pay for any of it. Okay, so I didn't win. So I was frustrated. 5 trips to the US or 4 trips to the US for the past 5 months. Okay, and I'm going to fly back to Singapore after this auction in San Antonio in May, right? May 2014. I'm going to fly back empty-handed. No, I told myself, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so emotion starts stepping in. Okay, and I told myself, I see, okay, whatever property is coming up next, all the properties that I wanted to bid for, all I lost. So whatever is going to come up next, the sheriff announced the next property. Okay, this property, I quickly open Google Maps, see this property. Okay, property looks okay. Let's bid for it. Maximum 8,000, 8,005, I think. Let's go for it. Right? Then I bought this. That was what I bought. Right? I bought a fire damage property. It was fire. There was fire damage on the property. House had fire damage. It was bad. All right? It was bad. When I saw the property for the first time, I wanted to cry. I was stepping on the pavement there, and then there was I had some friends that I met locally in San Antonio who tried to help me out. Okay, but eventually, one of them is a general contractor, one is an agent. So they told me, okay, look, I think this property, best that you just demolish it. Okay, and demolishing will cost about $4,000-5,000. So I was like, okay, demolish the property. But then what do I do then? Okay, but before I know it, the city sent me a couple of notifications saying that they will demolish the property within a couple of weeks if I don't demolish it early enough, and they will send me the bill. But not too bad. The city demolished the property for me, and the bill was a lot lesser than what the contractor wanted to charge me for. So the city did the job, demolished the entire property for me, right? Okay, so I had the piece of land. So once I had the land, okay, what happened was, okay, I had the land and I sold off the land. So I sold off the land for $8,000. I bought the property for $8,500, but I sold off the land for $8,000. So I made a loss of $500. But that was about 6 months in between. Okay, so I sold off the land. So in fact, if you put in other costs of it, I actually lost a lot more money than just $500. Okay, but at least I got some money back to cut loss, whatever you want to call it. So I cut loss on this, and then I just got out of the deal. Okay, so this was my one of my boo-boo that I will always remind myself: never, ever, ever do property without research. Okay, so I wanted to just spray my face at the point in time, okay, and woke myself up. Okay, Rauf, no more, never, ever. All right. So I learned a couple of things when I did this for the last 6 months, in the span of 6 months. Number one, research. Very, very, very important. You must have your research done, ready, before you even bid for anything. You must know how much the property costs, what's the maximum bid, how much it will cost in repairs, what's the area like, how many black people live there, how many white people live there, what's the income level in the area. All this data must be something that you must know. If you don't have them, you must have them in a spreadsheet. Okay, if at least in a spreadsheet, if you don't have it in your head. Second, buying the ugliest property on the prettiest street beats prettiest property on the ugly street. Okay, you have to understand it. Ugliest property on the prettiest street is better. Okay, the area counts more than the property itself. So this is something that you have to understand, because the property will rise to the value of the other properties in the area, in a good area, right? And watch all expenses. Every expense is something that you have to factor in. Even meals, air flights, everything else. You must factor in all expenses, because they eat into your profitability. I flew in 4 or 5 times, and before I know it, I realized when I average out 5 or 6 trips, I was spending about $12,000 to $15,000 US a month on just 2 weeks of trip. It's me and the CEO there, and so we flew there, back and forth. It was crazy. We didn't notice. We were naive. We were dumb. We were very dumb at that point in time, just spending through our nose. And it wasn't something I would ever advise anyone to do. Never, ever do this. Okay, guys? And most importantly also, that you have to build your A team on the ground. You must have people on the ground that you can rely on, people that can help you out. So this is also important. You must build your A team. Okay, so this is the other things that I have learned. All right. So this is where we've reached point, Noble Sky International, who we are at this point in time. I want to explain. We are an education and real estate investment facilitation company. Okay, we are not a fund manager. We are not selling properties here. So I have to emphasize this. You are never ever investing in Noble Sky, and we are never ever trying to sell you property. Okay, what we do is to facilitate your US real estate business. We create a business for you, that the business earns you income through either flipping property or renting it out. Either way that you choose, how you want it to be. Okay, so you have a business in the US instead. Okay, so we facilitate that business creation for you. All right, and as I said, we help you acquire properties in the US, and we are in Singapore, registered at Noble Sky Institute Private Limited, and Noble Sky Core LLC is registered in our US in Wyoming State, and we've been in Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, Cambodia. Okay, and soon to be next week we're entering Myanmar online and India as well next month. Sorry. Online first, and we buy from government auction, direct seller, wholesaler. And we have also helped to set up your proper business structure for all of you. Okay, this is what we do. Our specialty is in helping you create the right business structure for the right business type that you intend to do. Okay, so a bit of us. This is our Singapore group, and we first launched in July 2018. I don't remember the exact date, but 2018, 2019, and this year. But this year we didn't have any Singapore class except for one, I think. Okay, but not much. Right, so because of COVID-19, so this is our Singapore group. Our Jakarta is our biggest market so far, so it's a lot bigger in size in Jakarta. So I have a fair bit of investors from Indonesia that we have dealt with. Okay, Bandung, Surabaya, we were there late last year. Malaysia also, we are in Malaysia, KL. We're also in Penang, and we are running a Penang class, in fact, this weekend. Vietnam, Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh. Okay, which is also not too bad. We had people there. Cambodia and Thailand. We ran 2 batches of in Cambodia and 2 batches in Thailand as well. Right. So that's a bit about us. Okay, you can see all our investors and some of their clients and their students so far that we have worked with over the years. Okay, so we have essentially 2 companies here: Noble Sky Core in the US and Noble Sky Institute, and essentially now we've rebranded to Noble Sky International. Okay, because of the many countries that we are serving. Right, so this is a bit of our graduate numbers. Total property that we acquired is 49 to date from July 2018 onward. Before that was for private investment. I did not include my own investment, my own purchase in these numbers here. So we paid about 1.5 million US dollars for those property, and they were purchased at 18% of the market value. 18%. Okay, and it's very cheap. We got them very cheap. Okay, and the total fair market value is 8.5 million, or 18% of the market value. Okay, so this is where I want to explain this part. at the end of all this, at the end, I'm going to be making a very, very, very special offer to all of you. Okay, so it will give you everything you require to start your US real estate business. Okay, your US real estate investing business, which can give you more than 10x whatever you're getting from other passive investment forms like fixed deposit, dividend stock, mutual funds, etc. Okay, anything that's passive investment of yours, that this will at least help to give you about 10x more than what you can get from that. All right. Okay, so it's called a Sky Invest program. Okay, the program is called Sky Invest, and it's a complete concierge investment service. So we help set up your entire business for you. You just invest in your own company, all right, and everything is done for you. And it has a total value of $28,780. So that's essentially the special offer that we have. Okay, and yes, we are not offering any form of mastermind or coaching here. Okay, this is a service, meaning that you set up the company, we pay for all this, the CPA, we pay for this. It forms the $20,780. So this is a special offer that we will give you at the end, but this is the value. Okay, stay through all the way to the end. We will show you how much it will cost you eventually. Okay, we want to make it as affordable as possible for each and every one of you. All right, so let's discuss this. Why is every one of you here? So anything else? Any questions for anyone? You can drop your questions now in the text. And I hope if you think I should continue, if you're good for me to go to continue, let me know, and I will continue as soon as I can. All right, everyone okay? Doing okay so far? All doing good? All right, great. Thank you. Let's continue. All right, quite a fair bit of you today. All right. So why is everyone here today? Essentially, you might have a goal that you want to achieve. Everybody have goals, dreams, aspirations, all right? So you might have a goal that you're trying to achieve by yourself or leveraging with others. So you might be in this category. You might be hungry for knowledge. You're wanting to learn whatever you can before deciding, okay, I'm trying to decide between stocks or real estate. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. So you're hungry for info, all right, for knowledge. And you want to make the right decision, okay? So we know for a fact that each and every one of you falls under each of one of these or all of it. It could be all three, okay? So we are here trying to bridge that gap and allow you to make a good decision for yourself, for your family, for your investment, for your business, okay? So this is something that we want to hopefully achieve this with you, all right? So let me just illustrate a bit between property and other investment forms. Other investment forms, some of the issues that we might have, the returns are rather low, okay? If you want something guaranteed or whatever, everyone looks for guarantee, right? Every investor wants guarantee. Okay, they want to be able to invest and have everything guaranteed, right? The unfortunate thing is nothing is really guaranteed. Okay, even your bank savings sometimes not really guaranteed up to a certain value. Okay, so the returns are rather low. And then if you invest in a stock market, there's volatility that you have to be subjected to. Now the stock market is at an all-time high and it just crash again. So you don't know what's going to happen. Am I going to buy now and then it's going to crash some more? So you don't know. And stocks, you're not able to leverage. Okay, and there's no control. All right, compared to property. So property investment, there's an ability for you to leverage. There's an ability for you to control better, to a better degree compared to stocks. Okay? And the volatility is a lot lesser. Property is known as an inefficient investment. When an investment is inefficient, okay, it means that you will not be able to drop in price as fast as like stocks. Stocks can just jump off the cliff, kind of price can just drop like that, right? But real estate, it doesn't work that way. Okay, it's very inefficient. So it takes years for it to even correct itself down to a lower amount. So this is some of the fact that you are presented here. Okay. So however, if you look at property investing locally, okay, what are some of the facts on local real estate investing? All right. Okay. So the property local real estate investing is unaffordable. Okay, it's unaffordable, and you are paying near to market value for some of the properties especially in my own home country, Singapore. Indonesia as well. Malaysia, I understand the market is a bit more fluid. You're able to pay quite a fair bit of discount for some properties in Malaysia. Okay, but Singapore, I know it's not easy. Okay, some people are paying near to market value, and they're very debt focused. It's inaccessible and it requires a good credit profile. If you have bad credit with the bank because you've been paying late and all that, you literally are priced out from being able to buy properties in your home country. Okay, it requires a good credit profile. All right, and sometimes you can acquire maybe 1, 2. That's all. That's the max. Maybe you're lucky, can get 4. But the moment you look at more than that, the bank look at you as a high risk investor and they don't wish to loan you any more money. So that's another issue. Okay, and the returns can be quite low and sometimes negative cash flow because you're so geared with your loan, right, that you have a lot of loans that you take up, okay, but the returns now you have to repay the loan, means that your monthly income from the rental is not going to be enough to cover your loan. That happens a lot, okay, in all these three countries especially, okay. And there's a lot of stamp duty that you have to pay for. You have to pay for duty with Singapore IRAS, right? You have to pay additional buyer's stamp duty, 20%, 12%, 15%, or whatever that you have to pay for. It's a lot. For foreigners also have to pay extra just before you buy the property, okay? And title ownership. Sometimes you don't have full ownership of the property, okay, unless you create some special purpose vehicle or whatever, but that's very creative. But personally, you cannot buy the property and own even the land beneath it. There's some title issue. You can have the right to use it, but not the right to own it. Okay, so that's one issue. All right. So these are 5 reasons why I choose US real estate. Number 1, okay, the US as a country is huge. The market size is big, 33 trillion US dollars today. Okay, and the abundance of inventory is plenty, and you can buy anywhere across America. Okay, they are even much more affordable than local property. Trust me, they can be a lot more affordable than your own properties in your own home country. It's easy for you to acquire those properties, and you even own the land beneath the property, right? Have any of you wonder whether how is it like to be landowner? So come to America, you can be landowners of American property. You're the landowner, undisputed, okay? And the price to value ratio, most important for me. I'm able to pay a fraction of what it costs to buy those property compared to buying property locally, okay, in Singapore or Malaysia. Right, I pay 20-30% of the value. Can I get it locally? Almost impossible. Okay, so this is some of the things that I find the reason why I choose to invest in the US instead of local. Okay, so take a look at this. In this case, the cash portion that I pay for local property, maybe you pay 20%, and the remaining amount is bank loan. If you have a creative way of taking 100% bank loan, then that's great for you. But this is a typical example. All right, hopefully you're able to buy a potential discount 10%, and it will appreciate after 5 years, maybe a couple of 3-4% per year in appreciation. Okay, so this is a typical example of a local property investment. Okay, US property is like this. Maybe you pay 25% of the value, not 20%, 25%. The remaining amount is discount. Okay, but the value is the same. Doesn't mean discount, the value is here. The value remains here, but it's discounted, you only pay here, 25%. Okay, and then of course you are wanting it to appreciate over the next 5 years or more. Okay, so there's no bank loan. Rental income is cash flow positive. Here, there's bank loans repayment and can be more than your rental. So this is something that I want to explain to you why I choose to invest in the US. Okay, so let's take a look at some countries in particular. All right, some countries in particular, example Indonesia. Taman Anggrek apartment is one of the places that I stay a lot whenever I stay in Indonesia. I love the place. Okay, Central Park Mall. Pullman Central Park is a place that we always run our event in Jakarta, especially. Okay, so I've put this exchange rate was back in about a couple of weeks back. Okay, so at that point in time, 181,000 is about 2.5 billion rupiah. All right, and there's very limited info for me to find on Indonesian property bank loan for foreigners. Very hard for me to find. Okay, there's not many that offer that apparently. And even if they do, the loan interest is between 8% to 12% per annum. It's insane. Bank loans in Indonesia is expensive to buy property. I don't know why. Okay, and probably could be the rupiah fluctuation. Okay, and the monthly loan estimate that you have to pay for about 1,060 US dollars to 1,490 US dollars. This is quite expensive. So if I were to look at this property and use bank loan to buy, the rent that I can get from the property is only 8,000 USD a year. So I will be cash flow negative. Okay, so I put gross number there, not trying to mislead anyone, all right? But gross is what is our base on everything for the time being. Net is subjective, okay? Net could be very subjective on the investor directly. But gross, in this case, is actually, if you want to count net, it's going to be negative already, okay? So in this case, 8,000 USD is the annual income for the property here. The good thing about buying property in Indonesia, some of my investors told me, is that you're able to charge 1 year rent upfront. You take 1 year rent upfront, okay? So there's no vacancy. So that's not too bad. That's one of the good side about investing in Indonesian property. It's quite good, okay? The downside, the flip side is the interest rates are high, okay? Malaysia, okay, Verve Suite. Malaysia is one of the better markets in the region, in my opinion, okay? And if you were to purchase this property, 850,000 ringgit, Verve Suites in One Kiara is about almost 200,000 USD, 2 bedroom, 2 baths, 926 square foot. And for a foreigner, there's a 600,000 ringgit minimum value that you have to pay for the property. So hopefully you find something that is around 600,000 or around the rate, around the price. And you can usually get 70% loan to value if you're Singaporean. If you're not Singaporean, you're from other countries, you're usually about 50% if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but as a Singaporean, we can get up to 70%, even 80% of loan to value of the property. So using our Singapore income, they can give us this kind of loan to value ratio. Okay, so I have to upfront cash, but of course in Malaysia, I understand there's a way to do cash out and all that. Okay, but be careful on the wrong property. You cash out too much, you're over leveraging on a property that might not be as valuable. So that's something you have to be careful about. Okay, so let's say you do the traditional way, 59,400 cash down payment. You take a bank loan of 138,000. The remaining amount, the monthly loan repayment, about $750. Okay, so the gross annual rental for this property is not too bad, about 12,600, $1,050 a month. Okay, cash flow positive. So the gross yield is about 6.36%. Well, it's not too shabby, quite okay. All right. So in this case, for this property, maybe use loan. You can buy the property. So I'm just being very truthful to you. This is what I saw in the surface level that I did my research. Okay, I'm just putting it up there. Okay, and Singapore, a lot of us are probably here from Singapore, so this is a bit of a reality check. City Lights Rangoon is right next to City Square Mall in Singapore, right in the center of near to town. Not too bad. Now this is about 1.2 million Singapore dollars, about 857,000 USD. And if you're a Singaporean, usually if you buy this, it will probably be your second property, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, most of the time it would be. For foreigners, any property that you pay for, ABSE is 20%. Okay, for citizen, all right, if your second property, you got to pay 12% extra on top of the 1.2 million that you're paying for the property. The government wants to take 12% or 20%. So that's insane. Now, let's say you're a citizen here, you're buying this property, second one, okay, you're going to add 103,000 to 857,000, which is quite a lot of money. 103,000. You can buy another property in the States. I'll be very frank. Okay, so the local property, and if you're buying a local property, the maximum loan you can get is 45% only. Okay, and there's a cash minimum of 25% of the property value. So you got to put down cash of 240,000, CPF 288,000, and the rest is loan. So that's already like, wow, okay, and this amount of cash that you put for in a property like this, I will be very frank, not very efficient use of your capital. Okay, so now your monthly loan repayment 1,007, but the rental about 2,160 because of the loan to value is lower. If you take a higher loan to value for some reason you're able to qualify, then you got to pay higher, and you're sometimes most of the time cash flow you either break even or it's negative in your repayment back to the bank from the rental that you get. Okay, so the yield is very low. 2% to less than 3% in this case. Okay, so it's not something practical, and I don't really consider Singapore market as something friendly for me to buy property for investment. The main reason why there's a lot of foreigners who come here to Singapore to buy properties is mainly for our stable political and economic environment. Okay, we have a good government who looks after the country very well, and the investors from across the world wants to find a place that's safe to invest. Okay, these people probably are able to generate 40-50% returns on their own. They have this money. They want to find somewhere that is safe, that is outside the prying eyes of their government. Okay, because Singapore in itself is rather a safe place to invest. All right. So now let me show you and share with you an example. Jacksonville market in the US. Not too bad. Okay, this property that we found. Okay, a single family, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, or 2,200 square feet, cost $65,000 to buy. Jacksonville, Florida, this one. But this one probably is gone by now, okay, because this was created about early last month. So I created this slide, so this property might no longer be available. That's plenty. I can update now, tomorrow will be gone and update new ones, all right? So you can either take out a mortgage of 6.5% per annum, which I don't advise you to do so at the onset. At the onstart, you straight away take leverage. I don't advise that at all, okay? So what you should do, in my opinion, co-invest with other investors through an LLC, buy this property, value about 120,000. So per investor, capital 10,000. So you're able to earn in this particular property in Jacksonville about $1,000 a month. Okay, so in fact, $1,000 a month is rather conservative. It's about 1.2K usually. Okay, so the gross yield is 18.46%. Okay, the net yield is dependent on whether you use a property manager or you use someone else to manage your property. Is dependent. Okay, but most important is to look at the gross yield. Okay, so the gross about 18.46%, not too bad. Okay, not too bad. And this is probably a single family house in America. Now compare 18% to what you get locally in Singapore, 2%, or in Malaysia 6%, 7%, Indonesia 5%, 4%. 18% about 3 to 4 times more. Okay, in Singapore about 8 to 9 times more. All right, for the same amount of money that you invest, if you transfer the investment away from Singapore to another country that's highly more efficient, the velocity is a lot higher, your returns go a lot farther. Agree or disagree? Yes or no? What do you all think? All right, if you agree, if it's okay, can I continue? Okay. All right. Okay. So let's look at the secret. I saw the question. All right, I will answer in a short while. Okay. Wow, Mr. Saravanan had a lot of questions. All right, thank you, Mr. Saravanan. I will answer these questions in a bit later on. All right, appreciate your question. Thank you so much. Okay, let's look at secret number one. How do we buy US real estate at just 20 to 30% of the market value? Okay, so how do we do it? All right, that's number one secret. Oops, sorry. Okay, so back to this particular slide. If I were to pay only 25% of the property value and the rest are discounts, okay, the rest compared to locally, you take up bank loan. And what will happen is that in this case, you're looking at 60-75% of the property value as discount, which is not too bad. The amount that you pay for, 25%. Now, granted, there is potentially extra that you have to pay for to fix up the property. Okay, it depends about 15-20% of the value, but still you're paying a lot lesser than what the market is. So this is something that you have to take note of. Okay, so how do we buy properties at 20-30% discount? It's through this concept called US tax sale. My very first workshop wasn't too bad. Okay, I learned from it a lot. I apply for it for a foreigner to take advantage of it effectively. Okay, so in this case, called the US tax sale. Okay, tax sale investment in America, tax sale auction in particular. Meaning, okay, any property that is owned by the homeowner, every owner has to pay property tax annually to the county government. What is a county? C-O-U-N-T-Y. A county is what forms the state. So the country is the US, formed by 50 states in America and Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico and overseas territory, right? Okay, 50 states. Florida is a state, California is a state, Texas is a state, New York is a state, everywhere is a state. Okay, these states form the United States of America. Example, California, you're very familiar. California is a state, okay, formed by counties. San Diego is a county, Los Angeles is a county, San Francisco is a county, San Jose is another county, I forgot the name of the county. There's many counties, okay, in the state of California. San Bernardino or Riverside County, these are county, okay. Now, county is essentially responsible for the maintenance of their entire area, the community, which means they have to maintain the policemen, the roadworks, the hospital, the firemen, the schools, okay, the harbor, the bridge, all these are maintained by the county. And counties pay for all this maintenance by collecting property tax receipt from the property owner. Okay, so property owner every year pay the tax. County government collects and then use it to fund all these services within the community. Okay, so far understand? Easy for you to understand? Okay, good. So with all this money collected, unfortunately, no government in the world is able to collect taxes of 100% of their taxpayer. There will be some who will fall behind. Okay, some fall behind. Mainly in the US, you're not able to pay property tax from three main reasons. First reason, you probably lost a job. The moment someone lost his job, the very first thing in their head is not to pay for tax. They won't think of paying tax. They will think of survival, putting food on the table, supporting their kids and family and wife or whatever, right? Okay, they have to pay for that first. Pay the credit card there, pay the housing loan, tax, last thing they want to pay. Okay, so that's number one. Reason number one is they lost their main source of income. They lost their job. Okay, number two, they pass on, they died, pass away, buried to ashes or whatever. Okay, they have died. Homeowner who have passed on, especially we bought a lot of properties from deceased homeowner, okay, the thing is this, the county still send the bill to the house. You have to understand this, property tax does not stop, even in death, taxes still come, okay? All right, taxes will still come to bill for the house because in the county's opinion is either someone pay or the county has to take over the property, which I will explain how that works in a short while. Okay, so the tax is still due. So death is still a problem. And number 3 is divorce. So divorce is also problematic, right? When a husband, when a couple divorce, husband say ex-wife better pay, ex-wife say husband pay, then they start struggling and fighting, end up nobody pays. So the county end up with a problem. When they had a divorce, they're not going to see light of day of their income or their tax payment. So in a case, in a good year in the economy, sometimes 20% of homeowners, property owner, not just even commercial property owners, about 20% of them don't pay the tax. It is a statistic for whatever reason. Even in a good economy, people might lose their job, people might die. Correct? And in a bad economy like right now, especially recently, okay, they will probably look at 30%, but we are anticipating about 40 to 45% of property owners will default, okay, eventually this year, and it will result in foreclosure over the next year or so. Okay, there will be a higher rate of foreclosure. Okay, so that's the other side of things, whereby people in a bad economy, there will be more people defaulting. So example, in this case, out of these 4 houses, one of them, 25% of them, in this case, one property, in this case, did not pay the tax. So now the county has a deficit. And when they have a deficit, for example, 1 year for this homeowner is $2,000. So $2,000 is not collected from this house, not just one house. In the county, they can miss out on deficit payment of up to 18-20 million a year, a lot of money that they will not have access to because people just default because they lost their job, they lost their life or whatever, right? So this house, they are not able to collect the 2,000. So the county wrote a law, very smart law. The US government, they wrote it 200 years ago when they formed the country. Different states have different way of enforcement. They wrote a law like this. It's simply, in a nutshell, it says, if you, as the homeowner, is not able to pay me, the county government, your tax this year, you're not able to pay me your tax this year, I, the government, have the right to ask someone else to pay for you. Not bad, right? If you, the homeowner, cannot pay me this year, I have the legal right to get someone else to pay your tax for you. But why would he want to pay for you? He will want to pay for you because if something happens and he don't get paid back, he gets your house. Oh, now the people like, oh, I don't mind paying, okay, because I can get a house, all right, for whatever the value is. So they step in to pay. So the county create that as a law and allow all these people who are falling behind on the tax, the taxes to be paid by another party, which is us. We come in to pay for them. So in this case, the first year, taxes of $2,000 uncollected. County government send reminder. Okay, remind. Every month another reminder. Okay, still never collect, never pay. Second year, another 2,000. Remind. Third year, another 2,000. And then depends on the state. Some state 1 year, 2 years, some state 5 years. It depends. Okay, depends on where you're buying. All right, there's no one state is the same everywhere. No, US is a huge country with different states with different laws. So in this case, the 3 years combined, after adding all the penalties, all the interest charges, all the late fees, it comes to 10,000. I'm simplifying the figures, guys. Okay, I'm just simplifying it. So in total, this property about 200,000, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, total tax and penalties that was owed to the government is 10,000. So the property there, and then now the county foreclose. The property enters foreclosure with the county. So the county foreclose on the property, takes over the property, and then sell off at the auction. Okay, so county auctions off the property. So the total tax, the starting price of the property is 10,000 USD. That's the starting price, okay, of the property. So eventually, someone won. The winner won at $50,000. He paid $50,000 for the property. The value is 180,000. All right, because he attended a workshop, he understands how to market to value the property and how much it costs to repair. There's all this figure. He decided my maximum bid is 80K. Example, 80K is my maximum bid. And then at the auction, at the cost out steps or something, or online even, online auction is also possible. We buy a lot of properties online. He went up, he won, and 50,000 is bid. There's no other further bid. His maximum 80K, but he won at 50K. Not too bad. So he saves some money. You don't have to spend, although his maximum 80K, he spent only 50K. So he paid $50,000 to the county. The county collected the $50,000 from the auction winner. Okay, and the auction winner is now the new owner of the property. The value, 180,000. This is about less than 30% of the value. He paid less than 30K of the value. And this is the thing, if there is any bank loan on the property, okay, when the county's auction off the property, if there were to be any bank loan previously, before the county foreclosed and then auction off, there's any bank loan, any other lien on the property, it will be wiped off the title, and the new owner will acquire the property free and clear of any loans. Then some of you might be wondering, hey, are you sure you're crazy? How can the bank allow this to happen? Even if the loan is 120,000 in value, for example, okay, or 150,000, the county government will wipe it off and delete it off from the title, and you, as the new owner, will receive the property free and clear of the loan, okay, of any mortgage or whatsoever. Not too bad. How is it possible? Well, you got to understand one thing. When the county was in 3 years, they've been reminding the homeowner to pay. They've also been reminding the bank, hey, Mr. Bank, your homeowner is not paying me your tax. So for over 3 years, they have been reminded, the bank has been reminded, the owner has been reminded, but still by the deadline the county given them, they still breach it, they still did not meet the payment because nobody paid the county, boom, gone. Your right to the house is gone, including the bank. So if the bank have any interest in the property, the bank wants to protect the asset, the bank will step in at the last minute and pay off for the property owner. So whatever they have, the property owner later on is between them. It's none of our business. You see, between the property owner and the bank, they will settle it on their own. But on our side, all we know is if the property arrives at auction and someone bid for it, if there's any bank before this, their interest, their rights are gone. Okay, so then you are now the new owner of the property, paying less than 20%, about less than 30% of the value. Okay, so this is how we acquired. There were many cases whereby, you know, the property that I acquired, there was a $50,000 loan on those property. When we acquire it, the auction will wipe it off, and they tried to be funny by telling us to pay for it. Obviously, go and fly a kite. I told them, literally, I'm not going to pay for anything because the law in Texas is very clear. Your loan is gone. Okay, so they have no choice. The Singaporean term, they have to suck thumb. Okay, no choice. They cannot do anything. So we acquire the property. There's no bank loans attached to it. It's free and clear. Okay, so this is the beauty of buying property from county tax auction. So this is one example. All right. So I want to show you an example of a property when my team and I, we were in Manila doing running our event then, but we were also bidding for some for an auction online for a couple of our investors, and we won this property at $36,100. So I'm going to show you the property later and who won it. Take a look at this particular video. It's a short video. Come on. So please. Right. So we have the high bid. Okay. So we know exactly what is his maximum bid, and then we were waiting for it, and then sorry, we try to be light-hearted at that point. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, and then we won. Okay. So that was not too bad. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I mean, we acquired a property, right? Okay, it was like buying property online while we were in Manila. four investors in Indonesia and Cambodia. Yeah, it was Indonesia and Cambodia investor, but we were in Manila to buy US property. So it was quite hilarious at this point. I'm thinking of it, right? So it's like we're very multinational, international, whatever you want to call it. So because the US market is so diverse, so open, and you're able to buy properties online even. Okay, just a matter of knowing how this is done. So we've done it a fair bit. Majority of the properties are bought online. Even if the property auction is not online, we can send someone to the ground to participate for us, and we will actually link up with our team here in Singapore. And we do a Zoom call or something. We've done it before. Okay, so that's the property that we got. It's actually occupied by tenant, all right? Okay, but for the last 3 months, there was COVID-19, so there were not much thing that we can do and move about to buy this for this property then, but we are taking action. So we are probably going to collect the rental income and sell it off to probably either the tenant or to a new buyer, okay? Something that we're working on, okay? So that's a property. We paid $36,100 for the property. Look at what was sold for the property. See all the yellow points here? Right in front, similar property sold for $108,000. We only paid $36,100. 120K, 140K, 130K, 136K, 117K, 155K. This was the transactions in the area, guys. Okay, but we paid for our investor only $36,100. You saw it just now. Okay, and this guy was one of the investors. There were 2 investors for this property, and he's one of them from Jakarta, Julius Wijaja, and the total for the property value $105,000. His own capital he put in was $30K, and he put in share it with another investor. Not too bad. Okay, so in a short while, this was one of the latest property that we acquired. Okay, so there was him. He came out to Singapore, visit us, and then we were there. And then he was quite happy lah, getting another property for quite a good amount. So that's what we paid for. Okay, so that's secret number 1. How do we acquire property at 20-30% of the market value? Secret 2. Ready for secret 2? How do we leverage without using the banks? Okay, I understand there were some questions, Mr. MC. All right, I will answer your question at the end. As we go along on the presentation, some of your questions might be answered already. All right, but I promise any question that you have, I will answer them at the end. I will address them at the end. Okay, so how do we leverage without using the banks? Okay, in this case, there's 2 kinds of leverage: conventional leverage and unconventional leverage. What is conventional leverage? What you always understood, conventional leverage is always the bank. Okay, so the bank in this case, by law, bank loans, I have no idea why the government, the law always favors them higher in priority compared to the homeowner. Meaning, okay, first, if I were to use bank loans in the US, the interest rate is more than 5%. A lot, 6.5% at this point in time, 8%, 12%. You don't want to pay too high because you are considered a high risk. So there's a different way of approaching and using bank loan in America, not ever buying it at the upfront. I don't advise that. I will advise buying the property with cash first, season it with rental, getting income, then bring the property fully paid to the bank. Show them your expertise. Now they will give a lower rate. Okay, and then for some reason, okay, bank's priority is always above you. If you've taken a loan for 20 years, for example, it's a 20-year loan or 25-year loan, whatever, right? And then you only left 1 year of payment. Okay, example, I'm putting an extreme case. 1 year of payment means your principal has been paid quite a fair bit. You're just paying your interest, probably a lot of interest has been paid. But for some reason, okay, if the bank decided to foreclose on you, their interest is higher than you, who own majority of the property by now and almost paid off 99% of the loan. So they can even foreclose and then take the entire property off, okay, and you might not even get anything. I'm saying in an extreme case, depends on the country. Okay, so for some reason, their priority is always more than yours, and I have never enjoyed knowing this fact. Okay, and I don't like it. All right. So unconventionally, we do it differently. All right. Unconventional leverage, in this case, what we say is you invest with other similar investors who will help you together with you, come together and make it affordable for you to buy the property. So you all come together and agree upon your capital size that you want to invest, and then whatever capital that you invest is proportionate to the ownership and profit percentage that you're going to get. Okay, it depends on how much you invest. Okay, then what we advise you is to use a neutral manager to administer the entire process. Let me explain how that works. There's an example, a couple in Singapore. Okay, there's 2 of you in Singapore. There's a family in Malaysia, a couple and 2 kids. Okay, tycoon in Indonesia, just one single person, and then all our other investors across the region: Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, whatever. Okay, so the Singapore couple decided, or partners decided to invest 10,000 each. Okay, one into rental, so you call XYZ LLC, and one into Inc. for flipping. Okay, because rental and flipping are two different activities, so the IRS will tax it differently. So you don't want it to be inefficient in taxes. So you must make sure you separate the activity into different kind of entity. So one is an Inc., one is an LLC. So it's very important that you do the right way. Okay. Then maybe the Malaysian couple decided to invest $50,000 all by themselves into an LLC for themselves to own a rental property by themselves alone. They want to earn the rental income. Okay, so rental 50,000 into the LLC by themselves. Then the tycoon decided to do his own flip by himself. Okay, set up an Inc. Okay, all right, about 150,000 that he invested, and then the other investors set up and their own LLC, their own Inc., whatever. Okay, there's a mixture of many things. All right, so it depends on whatever they want to set up. Okay, they have their own. But let's take a look at how this works. So let's say, and all this. Okay, before I forget, everything at the above is set up in Wyoming State. All right. So now the XYZ Inc. decided to the Singapore couple decided to invest the 10,000 XYZ Inc. into a flip project. Right, together with another the investors from this side. Them, under XYZ Inc. with other investors here decided to set up 123 LLC in the state that they buy the property at. They set it up in the state they buy the property at, and then 150,000 is invested. They contribute 10,000 into the 123 LLC. The remaining 140,000 is contributed by this group. Okay, there could be 3 or 4 of them, depends, and they buy a house for flip. Is a flip project. Maybe they spend 80,000 to buy the property and another 40,000 to repair the property and whatsoever. It depends on what's the project like. Okay, so it's a project. All right, so they put 150K, 10,000 being coming from the Singapore group. Okay, then they also decided to do both, right? They want to do rental, so they put an LLC, 10,000 in the LLC for rental purpose. So with the other investors, they put together, okay, 789 LLC, and then maybe they put 10,000 into 789 LLC, and then the other investor put in the remaining 70,000. So now they own a percentage of 789 LLC, okay, total 80,000 for a rental property. So the rental income will be earned by them, so they will get the proportionate percentage that they own the property at. Okay, so this is the other one. All right. Then maybe for the Malaysian group, okay, they decided, okay, I want to buy my own property for rental. With Noble Sky, our policy is that you can invest as little as 50,000 for your own rental property. Is possible. If you want to be solo, it's possible. We can allow it to do so for you without having anyone else to join you. 50,000 for your own property is possible. We have a couple of investors who've done that. Okay, so they set up 789 LLC as well. Okay, for themselves in the state that they buy the property at. Put in 50,000 in a solo rental. So any income on the property, they have full control of the property without any other investors involved. So in this case, 789 LLC, they own solo, okay, for this property. All right, and then the tycoon decided to flip by himself, doesn't want to involve anyone. Our minimum amount to do solo flip is 150K. 150,000 to do solo flip. So ABC Inc., 456 LLC, all right, he put in 150K, and now there's a solo flip project. All right, that's what he does for himself. Okay, so this is the way that we help you to leverage unconventionally without using any bank loans. You see how we done it? All right, this is how we help you to be able to afford investing at an amount that you are comfortable at, all right? Why? By allowing yourself to come together with other investors. So this is one of the methods that we do. Okay, so without using any bank in the process. So especially for solo investors, if you own a property solo, okay, you have the ability. Example, this Malaysian couple has the ability to own this property, bring it to the bank, and then refinance. Okay, but the refinance, they have their own terms and conditions for you to do proper refinancing, which is something I will explain in person. So the refinance will help them to cash out the equity in cash and then use the proceeds to buy second property, so that they're building their portfolio in the US. All right. So far, this is how we've done it. This is how it works for our unconventional leverage method. Okay. Dimas, Wyoming, correct. Someone can answer that for me, please. Thank you. All right. Right. So secret number 3. Secret number 2 answered. How do we leverage? That's how we leverage without using the bank. Okay, by using other investors. Our community of investors are about 200 to 300 people already. So secret 3. How do we 10x your returns if your returns are just 1 to 3% a year? Okay. That's secret number 3. All right. So first and foremost, let's establish this part first. What are your current returns that you're currently earning from your own personal investment? Before you embark on, let's say, this particular US real estate business, before you embark on this, look at your current investment. How much returns are you currently earning? If you're open to explain, please let me know. All right, let me know how much returns are you currently earning. Are you able to generate a good 25%, 20% returns a year on your investment? Your ROI about 25% returns a year. Okay, and then ask yourself, if I have compared to all these investment I currently have, for me to be satisfied in the US real estate business that I want to do now, with example Noble Sky, how much returns do I need to earn to satisfy me? In other words, it doesn't make sense if I'm already earning easily 30% a year on my investment in the US. I mean, on my investment by myself in whatever investment that you do, stocks or whatever. Okay, and then in the US, I want to ensure if I'm earning, for example, 30% already by myself, I want to make sure that I earn about 50, right, on the US side, because then it makes sense, right? Because otherwise, why should I diversify away into something that I am already doing better myself? Unless, of course, you're talking about risk, you need to lower down your risk. Okay, so it's subjective. Okay, and there are different kind of investment out there: fixed deposit, mutual fund, stock option, future derivative, real estate, business dividends, many. Okay, there's 101 ways to make money. All right. So what I'm going to explain now is this: the investment that you do with Noble Sky in the US, all right, in particular, it can be a 100% passive activity without your involvement. Okay, the only thing it requires is your signature and your capital. All right, everything else can be run professionally by myself and my team and my crew on the ground. We will run this for you 100%. Okay, we know exactly the intricacies of running the US real estate business. Okay, from the point we set up the company to the point we sell and then liquidate the corporation is something that we can do. All right, so you don't have to be concerned about how this is done and all that. All right, so because this is something that we take care of for the investor, for you, the business owner in this case. All right, so then when you want to consider how much investment you have, first, I will always do this. Always ask yourself, how much are you earning currently on your own? Then you can compare to something. Because example, if you're someone who's only earning 2-3% a year from your fixed deposit returns, and my investment that we do with you in the US is earning you, example, a very poor return of 12%. Example, 12% is not something that I will ever target. I'll explain why. 12%. Now, 12% is still 400% more than what you can do on your own at 3%. 3,692, 400% more, 4x your current returns. That's not too bad. So because by myself, I get 3%. With US real estate, I get 12%. Okay, actually, I think 1% a month. Well, not too bad. Rather than 0.something% a month. All right, okay, got 3% a year. So I think I can, I don't mind because I'm happy. Unless, of course, if you're on your own, able to generate much better returns, then of course 12% doesn't make sense. Then you should never ever do this. Okay, I'll be the first one to tell you. All right. So sometimes, just now we had a meeting with another investor. He's generating very good return, 30%, 36% a year on his own. Sometimes I will say, okay, if you're doing this very well, then I don't think US real estate is the way for you, because what we do will never please you, unless of course whatever he's exposed to is exposing to a lot of risk. He needs to take some risk off the table from his portfolio and put it to something less of lower risk. So property is generally understood as a lower risk investment. All right. So then I will put across to you, how do we define what is considered high return, long-term risk, capital special, repeatable, whatever. I'll explain this now. So in the world of investment, any long-term investment is considered anything that is holding for more than 10 years. Okay. You can speak to anyone. All right. 10 years is considered long-term. Medium term is about 5 to 10 years. Short-term is anything less than 5. Okay. Anything less than 5 is considered short-term investment. So if our investment can exit in 2 years or 3 years, it's considered short-term, which is actually quite good. All right. Then the other one is how much return is considered high. Anything above 10%, okay, anything above 10% is considered high returns. Average between 5 to 10, low returns, anything less than 5. Okay. So I will always ask people this during my class. If you're someone who has a choice, where do you want your investment to fall under? Everyone will always answer in unison. Oh, I want my money to earn high returns as fast as possible. Right? Who doesn't want? Am I right? Who doesn't want to be able to earn high returns as fast as possible? Everybody wants that. All right? Okay. So this is something that I know everyone aspires to have. Everyone aspires to find a vehicle whereby, hey, Raul, show me where I put money, press button, come out money. And where I put invest, press button, come out money, press button, come out money. All they want to know is that press this button, come out money, press this button, come out money. Who doesn't want that? I want to know the same thing myself. It doesn't work that way. All right, everyone understand this, okay? in the world. You have to understand, educate yourself, know and analyze and understand the risk associated with any form of investment. Do your due diligence. If it's a simple matter, just press button, come out money. A lot of people will be doing it themselves. All right. So some of you might be already able to perform by yourself. Example, maybe 20% returns on an investment, like maybe you do stock trading. Okay, you do stock trading and you trade very well, and you're able to generate a high returns of 20%, and you do it on a weekly basis. Maybe sometimes 20% a month. In a year, 240%. Example. I'm just being very extreme. So you're doing very well, right? So who's drawing? Sorry. Someone's drawing. Okay. I thought, can someone disable that? Let me just disable it. Sorry. All right, I think I have disabled. So the question is this: how do you know? Okay, how much returns are you getting is good? Okay, so if you're doing 240% a year, I'm being very extreme with as a stock trader. You're looking at this investment A. Okay, understand this: being able to generate high returns, you've already figured it out on your own. Okay, but why would you want to consider this? Now is something I'm going to explain. Because if everyone will understand, in terms of stock, options, derivative, these are considered high risk activity. Okay, if you make one wrong move, you might lose a lot of money. All right. Okay, and the risk exposure is very high. So you're exposed to a lot of risk. Sometimes you're looking at something of lower risk. Even if you get 20-30% of returns lesser, but 1/4 lesser than what you can get by yourself, right? You will be okay because you can sleep well at night. Because the thing is too risky. All right. If you put it into something lesser risk, okay, no problem. I'll do it then. Okay. But sometimes you are not exactly earning a lot of returns. All right. And then you are just earning 2 to 3%. Okay. A year on your fixed deposit or bonds investment or whatever. So you want to earn something higher. So in our case, we're able to generate for you a lot higher. I'll explain how much returns is it that we always target for rental and for flip. Okay. In a short while. Then, example, all right, so I'm a stock trader, I generate a lot of returns and I make very good money by myself. So I'm looking at something of lower risk. So the risk exposure, okay, is lower in terms of property. All right. Then the other thing is capital exposure. Some people hold with a badge of honor in every class that we do. All right. And whenever I run this event in our classes, okay, this portion during our event, I will always ask them to write down the number that they are earning currently. Okay, and some of them will be very proud. 30% a month. They put on that 30% a month. Then I said, well, what exactly 30% a month? Forex trading. Wow, not too bad. Okay, some robot Forex trading earning 30% a month. Very nice. Okay, so I was like, wow. Okay, so obviously I don't think that US property will be something suitable for him, right? Because he's earning 30% a month. So is it something risky? I said, no, not risky at all. You can do this every month. You're earning a lot of money. So then I asked him, okay, so you're doing very well. So how much exactly are you investing? He said 10,000. Okay. 10,000, 30% a month. I'm thinking, well, that's not too bad. But I was asking, why don't you 10x the number to 100,000? Put it more, because 30% a month, right? Because I asked, is it risky? He said, no. Then, okay, if it's not risky, only 10,000, why don't you sell your house, sell your wife, sell your kids, sell your car, sell everything, put your money there, 30% a month, you probably become rich, very, very rich in a short span of time, right? So then his answer was, I don't put all my eggs in one basket. I was like, okay, but before that he said it's not risky, but now he don't put all. Then I asked him, why not? Why not? Then he realized he fumbled and I was making him look like an idiot. So I stopped there. I don't want to embarrass him. So I know for a fact it's risky, right? It is risky. If it's not risky, if it's guaranteed for sure earn 30% a month, everybody, I will quit this job, this business, and I will literally put everything, sell off the property and tell my investor, look, just invest in it 30% a month. Now let's do this, man. Right? But it's not. Right? Because there's a level of risk. Anything can happen. I don't know what will happen. Okay. And you don't want to be exposed to that question mark. Right? So I didn't continue. I just deflect and move to something else. I didn't want to ask him. There was definitely risk. If there's no risk, okay, if there's no risk, even the reason why you want to diversify is because you want to diversify away from risk. Because there's risk, that's why you diversify. All right. You do so. You don't answer it, it's not risky, and then you diversify. It doesn't make sense. Okay. So it is very risky. 30% a month is crazy. All right. So the risk, it doesn't want to be exposed. If it's not risky at all, you put in all you can into that, earning 30% a month, which is insane. All right. Then the other thing is repeatable. Is it repeatable or not? when we ran this event in Cambodia, I had a lot of people writing down on their form, they earn 100% a year, 100%, 200%, 100%, 150%. I don't know, wow, everyone's doing that. I was like, going to every single one of them, they were so proud of it. But check deeper, apparently it's 100% for vacant land that they sold to a Chinese developer. Land that they own, they inherit the land. Someone that didn't even buy the land, they didn't even analyze it. Okay, this is a good buy, I want to buy it because there's some developer selling. No, someone that inherit the land, someone that make the money from land investment. So they had that land, right? They inherited or they got it from somewhere, and they sold off like a few years back to a Chinese developer who was developing some resort there, and they sold off. Like half of the class was selling a lot of land then. Like wow, 100%. Then we check, oh, it was done quite a fair bit, quite some time ago, and then I said, can you do this again? I said, cannot. I can't do this anymore. Why? No more land to buy. Now, if I want to buy land, it's so expensive. So they cannot repeat it, right? They cannot repeat it. One is capital exposure. One is investment. Cannot, because it's too risky, too much. I can invest 10,000 maximum, but going more than that is too much for me. Okay, 100,000 cannot, right? So that's capital exposure. Right. The other one is repeatable. Can you repeat it again and again and again? I can't. Why? Because in Cambodia, for example, the land is all gone. I can't buy the land. It's so cheap to make sense of it anymore. And they're like, okay, they were like at the event, the land that was sold 3-4 years back, and you're telling me that's your current performance. Well, obviously, then you know the story. They're not exactly seasoned investors. Okay, so I thought they're doing very well, but actually, in terms of the rent, the return was just okay, 100%. A few years ago, that was sold. Okay, so it's not repeatable. So in our case here, when we do real estate investment in America, for you, in your business, property is abundant. You can repeat it again and again. You can buy property anywhere. You can be exposed to as little as 10,000 USD, or even 5 sometimes you accept, to as much as a couple of million or whatever you wish to, okay? And the maximum that we will know for the property that we can buy that's comfortable for you, 25 million USD, if you have the ability to do so, okay? For a large apartment complex, it's something that we can do. And the risk is considerably and acceptable as something lower than the financial markets. Okay, generally property is always known as lower, and it can be done in short term, and it's also considered high returns. So this is what we offer our investor. All right, we offer our investor or like yourself to look into be able to earn something short term, high returns in a acceptable lower risk. We can invest as much as you want, and it's repeatable. We can do it again and again and again for you. Okay, so this is the situation for us, for you as an investor. All right. Okay, moving on. So let me show you some of the case study. A rental case study in Jacksonville, Florida. This is a property that we're going to acquire for rental, and this is acquired at $56,400. The rehab expense about $25K, and total expense about $86,400. The equity gain for this property is $58,000 because the market value is $145. This area, Jacksonville, Florida, not too bad. Okay, so the annual the rental income for this property is $12,000. This is something that we're going to buy for investors soon because we are doing a sale from the flip investor to the rental investor very soon. So rental ROI about 13.89% for this property. Not too bad, right? Okay, it's not fantastic. I'll be very frank, not exactly very fantastic, but it's decent enough. Okay, you still earn considerably higher returns compared to other investment forms. And this is the excuse me, I apologize. All right, this is the property that we acquired. All right, and the property acquired $56,400. Check it out. Okay, and that's the amount that we pay for. All right, so this is the deed. The deed is what will determine the ownership. So in this case, the owners are 6Sky LLC. Okay, another rental case study. This is a property that we acquired in Newberry. Okay, and this property is almost ready now for rental. And this is the time when we got it, when it was ugly looking then. Okay, and the total rehab expense about $100,000. Total acquisition 75K. The total market value $275,000. Okay, Newberry is a good place. The Samsung plant is right down there, and they set up a place there, and they hire a lot of workers in Newberry. So there's a good rental income market. So annual rental income for this property is $33,000. Rental ROI 16.92%. Not too shabby. I think quite okay. All right. If you look at it, 16.92%. All right. These are the properties, the deeds that we acquired at the point in time. How much we pay for. Okay. They will tell you who are the owners, the 3Sky LLC, and how much you pay for the property. Okay. So then this is the legal description of the property. There you go. So 4 properties. These are the 4 deeds for the properties. Okay, not too bad. Right. So the deed will prove who's the owner eventually. Okay, and then Airbnb case study. This was one of the property that we had. We sold off this property already. Okay, so this was a case. Our CEO and myself we own it, but she runs the whole thing more than me. So the market value is 65K. We bought it for $7,000. This one in particular. Okay, the rehab expenses were 10,000. The total expenses in total about 20K for this property. Everyone will ask, can I buy something similar like this? I want to have something similar. Okay, not easy to get. We were quite lucky to acquire it at that point in time. So the equity gain 45,000, annual Airbnb income 12,000. And I'm not kidding you. The Airbnb ROI is 60%. Maybe I calculate it. Like wow, because of we pay so low for it, and the Airbnb ROI is 60%. Not too bad. I think I will never get 60% a year for the property for this property in Singapore. So we hold this for about a year or about 2 years. In fact, 2 years we hold on to this property, and then eventually we refinance the property with a bank, and I pull out $30,000 from the property per property, $30,000 per property, and then we sold off the property eventually to another buyer. Okay, so this is the Airbnb case study. Okay, so this is Ice, the CEO, and this was her design, not mine. I didn't design this. And her own capital contribution about 20,000, total portfolio 65,000. The growth about 325%. It wasn't too bad. Okay, at that point in time. Okay, and then a flip case study is this one in Columbia, South Carolina. This property has a market value of 135,000. And the sale price is 130,000. We sold it for 130K. Flip ROI about 68%. Total expenses 77,000. We gained 58,000 on equity when we bought this property, and we sold it for 130K. Flip ROI 68%. Not too bad. Okay, so if you're flipping, you can look at a better ROI, but you got to wait for the flip to finish. Rental, you get the income straight away. Flip, you got to wait for a while, 9 to 12 months, 15 months before you get your money back. All right, that's flipping, and this is the deed for this property itself. Okay. We paid for it, how much you pay for it, and who's the LLC that acquired it. Okay, and this is a case study for a property in Walden, New York. All right, in Walden, New York, when we acquired this property, it's valued 236,000. You take a look at the total expense. In total, when we acquire, rehab, and other miscellaneous expenses, 110,000 in total. And the sale price, 200,000. The flip ROI, 81.81%. Okay. This is the deed that we acquired the property at Walden, okay, in New York, $42,000 for this property. And if you see here, the value 236,000, we spent so little for the acquisition cost. And there you go, okay? And the deed will show you the owner. I will show you what, when we acquire it, what does it look like? When you acquire it, it looks like that, okay? Quite bad lah, although not too bad sometimes, but actually it's not very livable. Okay, this was the property when we acquired it. The ceiling caved in. Okay, then when we rehab the property, we fix up, we trash out the property, demo everything, okay, and everything else, we take it out, the rehab pictures, and then when we list it, this was what it looks like. With professional photographer, and we did the flooring, the kitchen, the flooring, the tiles, the stairs, the roof, and everything is all done. Okay, this was what it looks like eventually. Okay, so sold for 81%. Okay, and then another case study, this one is in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, Jacksonville, Florida, market value 190,000, acquired for 71K, total expenses all in 103,000. So the sold price for this one is not 165, 168. I apologize. Okay, so flip ROI about 69, almost 70%. Okay, so I want to show you this is the deed to this property. Okay, I should stop doing this. Zoom in. Okay, when we acquire it, it looks like this. This was the property when we acquired the property. Then it was bad. Okay, we go there, it's like a haunted house. It was all dark, nothing inside. And we rehab the property. It looks like that. Wasn't too bad. Okay. We trash out the whole place, demo out, and then clear out, and then fix up everything that we can fix. And then when we list it, it looks a lot better. Okay, it looks a lot better now. And so that's why it was sold for profit, because we fix it up and then we list it. Okay. So that wasn't too bad. All right. So this is an example of an investor who invests small at first before he wants to invest big. So he invests small. He's from Jakarta. He acquired 9 properties in total with the other investors in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, these were the properties that he acquired with the other investors. Okay, Pak Bikon Pak Ari, menjadi lowest. Right, he invested only 5,000. The total group 463,000. So you see here how you leverage. You leverage small even. You're able to leverage with other investors with a big sum. But the percentage, even if the entire group earn 30% returns, you still earn 30% return on the amount you invest. It doesn't change. You see. All right, it's just that ownership is lower, but the performance is the same throughout for everyone in the group. Right? So 220% portfolio value growth, because the total value of the 9 properties is about 1.021 million. Wasn't too bad, right? Okay, but we only spent less than 400,000 to buy those property. Okay, so 220% portfolio value growth. So that wasn't too bad. Okay, so far, this is how we do. This is what we do when we acquire the property for our investors. Okay, so we can serve a high net worth investor with higher capital contribution to even a straight retail level investor who put in 5-10,000. It's possible. Okay, we can serve both ends of the spectrum. Okay, so let's take a look at the market watch. So first, market watch I want to say, high density living losing appeal, meaning people are moving away from apartments and they're moving away into the suburbs. They don't want to live in high density because of COVID-19. So the suburbs where we buy the property, all this single family has a higher demand because people realize they can stay home, they can work from home, they're finding jobs that allow them to work from home. They don't have to commute and travel back and forth to the office, spend extra money, extra time. They don't want to do that. They want to work from home. Okay, and only go to office when they're required to do so. So there's a shift in how people work in America, especially, and people are moving back to the suburbs to buy to live there and buy property there. So they don't want to live in high density because of COVID-19. All right, the spread is a lot higher in high density cities. Then mortgage rates are lowering, especially even lower recently. A couple of days ago, I just read the news. They're even lowering further. There's only so much they can go lower, but for some reason, the banks are even lowering. They are desperate for more people to come and take money and loan out money from them. They want more loans. Why? Because the demand for the loan as a mortgage-backed security, because the bank, when they give you a loan as a homeowner, they give you a loan, right? They take that loan, you're paying back the loan to them, okay, the mortgage, and then they take this loan, they sell it in the financial market as a mortgage-backed security, and this security that they're selling, which is your loan, is in high demand now because it's considered a safe asset compared to the stock market. So these big institutional investors buying on the stock market, they're selling out the stock market position, they're taking the billions of dollars, asking the bank, can I buy your mortgage-backed security? So this bank, they want more people to take the loan from them, they lower down the rate. So this is what's happening. All right. So mortgage rates is becoming lower and lower and lower. Okay. All right. And even then, some people are really saying there's not really a real estate crash. I'm not so sure. I stand corrected. There's two schools of thought. Some say it's coming, some say it's not. Okay. Depends on how you see things. All right. In this case, only those people who ask for forbearance, asking the one to pay the loan, right, because of COVID-19, they call the bank, can I postpone the loan? The bank allow them to do so. But most of them, they actually have a lot of equity. So they are unlikely to be allowing themselves to be foreclosed upon. Only 1 out of 10 don't have equity, and they might be foreclosed upon. Okay, so people are saying because of this, there's no sign of a real estate crash. And take a look at this. Some people are asking, Rauf, when do I buy? When do I buy? When do I time? I want to buy at the bottom. I want to sell at the top. Everyone always asking to do so. Some people even ask me to do the impossible. Rauf, I want to enter right when the ringgit. I know the guy was the time ringgit. When the ringgit is the weakest, I want to enter when the ringgit is weakest, but I want to exit when the ringgit is strongest. They're asking me to do the impossible. I have no idea how to do so. Okay, I would love for you to enter when the ringgit is when you exchange the money, the ringgit is at the strongest, and then when you want to take back your money from the US into Malaysia, the ringgit is at the weakest. Okay, otherwise I'm a bad investor for you. So it doesn't work that way. I would love for that to happen. Right, but you know certain things is out of our control. So if you're someone who's trying to time the market, always trying to find the right time. I will always never believe in timing. If you're always looking at timing, you'll miss out on an opportunity. This is not something I will advise. So look at this. If you look at timing, if the property went all the way up, especially during the peak of the subprime, all right, the subprime years, which is 2007, 2008, 2009. This is the peak for the New York, LA, Miami, Phoenix, Seattle. This is the peak. Okay, if you want to find the bottom, only when the property reach the bottom price, then I want to invest. Okay, you don't know when. Okay, you might be waiting 5 years. So if you look at this is Miami, right? Went all the way up, or New York. I don't want the 200 rate. Okay, to 220% in index. It took them 2012, from 2007 to 2012, 5 full years for it to find the bottom. Okay. Then you will say, hey, but I don't want to buy when it's falling. I don't want to buy when it's falling. So then this is the thing I will explain. Okay, even when it's falling, it's the best time to buy. All right, why? When property prices are lower and people are more in panic, they will sell to you at a lower price. But remember, when you look at this index, this is market value. This is market value. So when even at this point, okay, this is clear to see. At this point for this property, this country, Denver, at this 182 or whatever, right? When I buy the property for my investor, I don't pay 182 at that point. I pay maybe, at that point in time, 60, 70. Okay, at the point, so I'm insulated from the market price movement. This is how we buy things, guys. Okay, we never ever try to pay maximum value at that point in time. Okay, then that means you're speculating. I don't advise that. All right, and trying to time the market is like to have a crystal ball in front of you. You don't know when you will exactly the market will bottom. The market might not bottom. It might just skyrocket again because the Federal Reserve just pumping more money. You don't know. We don't have control over all this. The most important principle that I always hold by: always buy at distressed value. Always buy cheaper than what it is. That's most important for us. Okay. So this is what I will advise to every one of my investors. Never ever try to time the market. All right. So hope that I have explained to you enough about that. So I'm going to explain to you some of the 17 criteria to a profitable property investment for you to take note of for yourself. For what are the 17 criteria for you? Okay. So number one is area selection. Okay. Good government economic policy. We want to ensure that the places that we're buying have a good government policy encouraging people to come in and invest there. That's number one. Okay, so the government is encouraging companies to come in. They lower the tax rate for the companies. So the company will come in, set up a HQ there or manufacturing plant, and they give more jobs to the people in the community. When they give more jobs, there will be more economy happening in the area. So there will be something good for the investor. Then this will perpetuate jobs growth. There will be more jobs growing in the area, and then people will move into the place. Okay, there will be population growth as criteria 2 and 3. Okay, then after that, criteria 4 will be neighborhood location. Okay, we want to ensure the area is a good place enough, can support the property that you want to buy. How much is it at? How much will the property be valued at? So you will estimate the market and rent value for the property. Then, okay, and this is criteria 5. And then we look at the property description and configuration. So we want to know exactly this property, is it 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom in the area? What is in demand? Is how many bedrooms in demand? 3-bedroom demand or 2-bedroom demand? There's a way to determine this. And then we look at the crime rate and school rate. Okay, is it high crime, low crime, good school district, bad school district? Okay, and then importantly also number 8, median household income in the area that's living there. What is the median household income? And with the median household income, it will determine how much they can afford in rent or to take a loan. Okay, criteria 9. So do you know how much they have in income? Okay, how much rent they will pay for? Usually the number is 30%. Okay, and then we determine the profitability of the property. You know, the area itself, the property that you have, you are intending to buy. What is the transaction for similar property, the comps, the comparables for similar property around the area for you. So you will determine your market value. And then you can also check what is the rental transaction in the area. All right. So that's criteria 11. Look at the rental transaction. Are there a lot of rental activity? Okay. Then you need to also know, number 12, rehab price. You drive down, then you do an estimation of how much you drive down to the property, estimate how much it will cost in rehab. Okay. And then from there, you determine the maximum purchase price. And then you determine your rental rates, okay, how much rental you can charge people, and from there you can also determine how much sale profit you can make from the property. And subsequently, you gather the pictures and video, you drive to the property, get a picture of the video and video of the property, so know really what's the current condition of the property, and then you readjust the figures, and then you decide how much can you sell the property or should you rent the property after all the report has been taken in. So there's a lot of steps that we take, okay. Plenty. We don't just buy blind online. It's not something that we do. Okay, we will do all this analysis for you, the investor. All right. Okay. So I want to show you an example of us doing the drive-by with a bunch of our investors the other time last year in November when we fly into America to Houston. Okay, and we were there with all our investors, about 15 of them flying from Vietnam, from Jakarta, from Malaysia, from Singapore. All right, they flew in to the US and met up with myself and my team. We did a learning journey. We call it learning journey. This property is what we bought. We bought this property eventually. Not too bad, right? Very nice. This property is quite nice. We are putting this on Airbnb. All right. It's actually a long video, so I don't want to bore you too much with the video. So that's the property that we bought. So we did the learning journey with our investors. So you can see all the investors flying into Houston with us. So this is the property. All right, and this property we acquired for 270,000. The equity not that much because property is really fixed up finish. Okay, And when we bought the property, we furnished it with 10,000 worth of furnitures and all that. So as of now, I hope my friend Chris, is he ready? So the expected Airbnb income of 45,000, 15.79%. And all right, thank you, Chris. And of Airbnb ROI. Okay, so this is the query for the property when we put it as a test listing on Airbnb. So for 4 nights, about 1115 USD. For 3 nights, about 1188 USD. For 3 nights, about 897 USD. For 4 nights, about 1115 USD. And for 3 nights, about 1334. Not too bad. So we realized, hey, this property, this area got good Airbnb potential. So the investor and I, okay, let's do Airbnb instead. So I'm going to invite, in fact, my good friend and business partner from, hang on, let me just, right. Hang on, let me just see. Okay, his name is Chris Murdin. He's this guy here that you see. He's right there in the property and you are in for a treat to be able to see him. Okay, and I'm going to invite him, Chris. Let me ask you, can you start your video? I'm going to stop my share for the time being. And I'm going to invite Chris to come online. Hang on, Chris, start video. Okay, where are you, Chris? Okay, I'm going to spotlight you. All right, Chris, the floor is yours for the time being. Oops, sorry. Unmute, can you unmute? All right,
can everybody hear me?
I'm sure you can. He's right now in Houston and the property itself.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the presentation. I'm just going to get right to it. We're at the Don Blush property you just saw, and we are in the process of getting it furnished. So I'm just going to highlight the furnished parts. Got the dining room. We'll go to the kitchen area. Nice kitchen, right? We got the bar stools coming in maybe next Monday. We'll pick up the dining room table this week, hopefully. We got the couches in. And we got the outdoor furniture. If you can see that out there. We don't got nothing in the bedroom just yet, but I'll show you the bedroom. And then we'll go upstairs. We got the room started upstairs, so we'll take a look at that. So we got a bed in here, a dresser. This house is like a maze. And we got a couple beds in here that we are setting up. And we're going to do something similar in here. And this will be like the game room. And that's pretty much it. Look how high this is. You don't want to drop anything from up here because it will break.
Well.
All right, that's pretty much it for the house.
Yeah. Well, thanks
I'm
a lot.
not sure if you wanted me to say anything, but
could you go around the house?
You're welcome.
For the time being?
Sure, like go like somewhere else. We're gonna put like
outside the house.
Outside? Okay. Oh, this isn't part of this house, but the neighbors just got pool, so it's exciting to see that.
Well, yes,
they're having fun in the pool.
We're getting a pool, right? We're putting a pool in the house. All right, and above ground pool is something that we're buying for us to have more value from our Airbnb. Is that correct?
Yeah, like with the COVID-19, a lot of neighborhood pools are shutting down for the summer. So just about I'd say like 90 to 95% of the inquiries that are coming in, they're asking for a private pool. Yep. So even one of my Airbnbs, I'm considering getting.
Oh, okay. Oh man.
Just to keep the maximum amount of guests coming in.
Right. Thank you, Chris.
It's a pretty nice neighborhood. Real safe. Nice big backyard.
Yep.
Another look at outdoor furniture. It's like put like a jungle gym, a pool, a swing set. Can do a whole lot. This has a whole lot of potential.
Very nice. Thank you.
All right. See you later, and I hope y'all join the team.
Yes. Thank you, Chris. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris. Chris is one of our my business partner, is also our coordinator and manager on the ground. So he will help us with a lot of all the rehab, the coordinating, especially Airbnb management and rental. So he's someone who has a lot of experience doing so. So I work very comfortably with him. Thank you so much, Chris. And I believe that he's a big asset to Noble Sky, who help us a lot with our investment. All right. So this is Chris, and let me just reshare back my screen. Okay, there you go. So I hope you enjoy a bit of the tour that we had on the ground. So with technology, we can make all this possible. Live, that was live. That wasn't even pre-recorded, right? So there you go. All right, so why do we do Airbnb? Is because there's a vacation rental surge, demand surge for Airbnb properties in the US. And we noticed this is something that, hey, okay, we need to ride on this particular trend, and we need to make sure that whatever property that we have, we put it on Airbnb so that we can ride in and cash in at the same time, right? Okay, so that's so far some of the gist of what we do. Okay, so 3 secrets have already been shared to you. I want to share to you the bonus secret. Okay, and how do we make everything passive? How do we ensure that you don't have to put in a lot of work in the property? So this is the part where I'll be sharing the services that we want to share with you how this works. All right, so I just want to ask for your permission. Okay, I want to ask for your permission if I can share with you how the service works for you investors so that we can make everything passive. Can I have your permission to do so? Can I? If you give me permission, then I will continue. All right, I will continue. Thank you so much. All right. All right, thank you. All right, so 3 top reasons why you should not attempt this on your own. There are 3 main reasons why you should not. Okay, 1 is because you have limited time. Time limitation. So time limitation is a problem. A lot of us have our own life, our own business to run, and we don't have the time to run this on our own. Okay, so we are very limited in our time. Most of us, we have our own jobs, our own family to go to, and by the time you want to work on this business, it's a full-time business, it's a different time zone, you're tired. Okay, so how we advise it, what we advise you to do is to work with someone else, get someone else to do for you, but also find some extra time to learn from the expert. So this is where we come in to show you how this is done. Okay, and then the other reason is capital. Not every one of us have access to a couple of $1 million just like that and then buy anything and then make money out of thin air. A lot of us, our capital is limited, and we want to make sure that we maximize and effective use of our capital. So we don't want to lose any money. We don't want to make sure our returns are high enough that it makes sense. Okay, so our capital is limited. All right. So if your capital limited, then you got to work in JV. Do JV with other investors similar like you, and invest in a sum that you all agree with, and then have a neutral party facilitating the process. Make sure that you have someone neutral in the entire scenario. So this is where we come in to be the neutral party. We're not siding anyone. Okay, so we JV with each other. We don't use bank loans. So I don't like to use bank loans. And experience. You might be someone who has a lot of money and you're semi-retired. Okay, you just finding time to invest wisely where you want to invest. But if you try to do this on your own, your experience is limited. So you need to have expert guidance, and someone can cover your legal tracks. So if you spend your time to attempt this on your own, you're going to spend money extra for experience, and don't want you to do that. It's going to be expensive. Instead, write on our expertise and our experience, and we will help you to lower your costs. So that's the other part. Okay. So one of our strategic partners is Mr. Ray Dias, who is the one of the guys who helped us with a lot of the rehab on the ground. He helped us with all of the renovation contract works all across. Like you see the one in Jacksonville, how we did the property, we fixed it up in New York as well. So he specializes in rehab in any residential properties in every state in the US, continental US. And at the same time, he's also someone who specializes in hotel deals and commercial deals, which is what he has done very, very much. Okay, he's one of his own personal deals as high as $67 million US. So he's someone we depend on a lot for a lot of the property rehab works. Okay, and the other guy that we work with very closely is Chris Moody. Chris Moody, I know him for quite a long time, since 2014, in fact. Okay, we met him then. Okay, we worked with him. We clicked a lot. Okay, I met his aunt, and then I met his cousin. So we became like families now, and then we know his kid. So we went to every time we go to Houston, he would join us. Even in other states, he would also join us in New York. He would fly into New York, meet up with us. So we really love him as part of the Noble Sky family. So he is in fact one of Noble Sky family already with us. He's my business partner now. He's also a licensed realtor in Texas, and his specialty before was in luxury market, any property above $2 million. Okay, so he does a lot of our wholesaling to cash out of the property without needing to fix up the property. You just sell the property at a profit to investors especially, and he does a lot of Airbnb management and short-term stay investment, short-term stay for investors. So he will be looking after a lot of our Airbnb property at this point in time. So we're intending to buy more Airbnb property in Houston as well. So he's an active investor in storage units, apartment complex as well. So you're always finding these kind of deals and then telling us, okay, let's go into this deal together. So Chris Mudin is the cash flow man, or he's always talking to me about cash flow, always about cash flow, always talking about cash flow. So you met him in person, live. He was in Don Blanche. He's actually working. We are going to spend about the next few days to finish up the entire furnishing of the property. And then after that, you can put it on Airbnb and start generating cash flow. All right. Thank you so much, Chris, for doing that earlier. Okay, so this is a bit about Noble Sky again. I've already shared with you earlier about who we are, and I won't go into this again. But as I said again, we are not a fund manager. We don't invest. You don't invest in us. We help you set up your US real estate business. You invest in that company directly. Okay, not in us. All right. So Noble Sky, we have all the tools, resources, and solutions to help you succeed. Everything you require, we have it. All right, because we have it from A to Z. We will do everything for you. Okay. So what you're gonna get is this. Let me just explain. The very first one, okay? The very first thing that you'll get is this. You need this first and foremost is a Wyoming corporate formation setup, okay? This is about $1,680 in value. So you can either choose to do Sky Rent, Sky Flip, or Sky Duo, which is both. I will explain what that is later on at the end, okay? So Sky Rent means you're buying property for rentals. Flipping means you're buying property for flipping. The Duo means you have two companies doing renting or flipping, okay? So you got to choose what you want to do. This is the Sky Invest program, all right? So this would mean that the total value is 1680. This is an example of the company. You can go to Wyoming Secretary of State, search for the company name, your company name, search for it. Okay, you'll see, okay, example, the name of the company is Blue Fire, one for investor. Okay. And then there's the name of the company, Blue Fire. All right. And then that's the name of the director, the husband and wife, Faizan and Mirawati. They're from Jakarta. Okay. And then you see my name there as the president. Okay. I am president, but I am not director of the company, meaning I can be fired by the director. Okay, the two directors just need to come together and remove me if they want to. But why am I president? To administer the work for you, to ensure that anything that we have in the US is easier, flow a lot easier for you as the investor. You don't have to worry about, oh, I need to go sign in, need to go fly there, whatever. You don't have to do all this, okay, because I have the authority to do so. If you don't wish to give me that, it's up to you. Okay, but I will advise you just give us a president, or you can be president. But technically, if you're already director, you're above me. Okay, so you can remove me anytime. All right, so this is the thing that you can see online. Okay, how you can go online and search for your name. Is my name there? Sometimes people are wondering, if is my name not there? Why is my name not there? So they were wondering all this. Okay, your name is all there. All right. Then second thing you need is taxation and bookkeeping. You need to ensure that your books are well kept by an accountant who make sure everything tallies. All right, and does all the bookkeeping. So all this is an example. This is an example of a company that we have. Jenny Enterprise. Remember the first guy I showed you, the white guy, from Poland. All right, this is Richard Jenny. This is his company called Jenny Enterprises. Okay, and the date he incorporated the company then, and the ID, I cannot show you the ID, how much he invests is private and confidential, PNC. Okay, so this is the tax return, Form 1120 for his corporation. Okay, then you file what is the activity, holding company, investment. So you see all this. This is all what we do professionally for you. Okay, and then another form, very important form, 5472, Form 5472 for any corporation owned by a 25% foreign owned company. This has to be filled, otherwise $10,000 fine or $25,000 fine, either one, I'm not sure. Okay, so all the ID, how much asset and all that, what they do, okay, how much investments, return, profit, whatever, okay, all have to be filled up correctly. We do this for you guys, okay? So that's the second thing you will get, a full taxation and bookkeeping service for corporate and personal. Personal is, if you want it, you can file and get an ITIN in the US. If you don't want it, it's okay. This is subjective. Whatever the case is, don't worry, you can get both if you want, all right? And then for your situation, just talk to me. When you come on board with us, I will explain to you what you need, what you don't need according to your personal situation. Okay? Can I continue? All right, thank you. All right, $83.80. All right, $8,380 is the total value now. Then the third one is corporate compliance package, meaning with the company you have to file returns and all that. Okay, and at the same time, you need to ensure that your legal documents are done properly. Okay, so you have to have all the bylaws, the corporate bylaw. Okay, for the company here. Then you need to have the shareholder agreement between you. This is our investor in Singapore recently. Okay, his name, his ID, passport, block number, and all that. You have this husband and wife. You got to sign. You got to sign the name. Okay, even husband and wife, I will advise you to sign to ensure that you come into agreement together. Don't mean just because you're husband and wife you don't sign, you don't. Okay, these are shareholder agreement you have to sign. Okay, and then the share certs that you will receive to signify the ownership of your corporation. How much shares are you getting? Usually we just declare $1 per share. Okay, make things easy. All right, so this is what we do. Okay, so that's the corporate compliance package to ensure that all your corporate documents are in compliance, all the legal documentation. Okay, about $1,200 in value. Okay, total value now $9,580. So it becomes more and more. If you do this on your own, that's what you pay for. If you do this by yourself, you attempt this on your own. Okay, so with us, we want to make this affordable. Okay, and then we do the research, analysis, and acquisition. So you don't have to spend all the money, okay, to do all the research, or you fly someone there or fly there by yourself and spend this money to do the research. Instead, use our expertise to do so. Okay, so we do the analysis, and then we do the presentation, the proposal to you, tell you how much cash flow you can get, the rental, this is the rental analysis. Okay, all right, how many % gross rental yield, and you decide whether you want to buy or not. Okay, and then this is an example of a research for the property. You will see all the address, the area, the property type, how many bed, bathroom, all the data, you will key them in, okay, then to decide what's the maximum value, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is the research, analysis, and acquisition service. So that's us. That's technically Noble Sky main expertise. We do this work for the investor. $6,720 in value. Okay, and total value now is $16,300. That's the total value that you're getting. Okay. Then rehab and rental management, meaning that you see all these pictures, they don't magically transform itself. They don't. They need work. Someone to go down on the ground to fix things up. All right, guys. So somebody has to do all this work to fix things up. So you see all this picture property, it transform itself. No, it was worked on by our crew on the ground, the rehab and rental management. So I want to show you an example of a rehab management when we were in Jacksonville. We were here during this time when we saw this property. Take a look at the video. This was some of the things we want to do, and you don't want to do this on your own. I am sometimes afraid of showing this part because, hey, I don't want to get involved in all this. But for the property to transform itself into something beautiful, it has to go through this.
Sagging, pretty bad. So we're having to bring it back up, get some new piers under it, get back level where it's flat across again. We're gonna take this wall out, open it up. Bring it open so we can kind of run our living room and our kitchen area.
You saw that? So this is insane works, right? Okay, they literally demo out the whole house, okay, and knock it out, and then there were termites that they found. They had to abate the termite, treat the termites. Okay, these are what some of the works that we do. Okay, for the investor, we manage all this. So I was lucky enough with my team. We were there in Jacksonville. We visited some of the property. We took some video, show to our investors like yourself. Okay, these are the works that is being done. All right, so they appreciate that. Oh, yes, this is what's being done. So they know what's happening. Okay, so rehab and rental management is an additional stuff that we do. Okay, $7,680 in value total to rehab, manage, and everything. So total value now $23,980. And sale and listing service, the very last thing that we want to offer here is sale and listing service, meaning if the property is ready for sale or for rental, it need to be listed. Okay, so in this case, if you see here, okay, I want to show you an example of this property that was ready Howard Drive and was sold for this price, $168,000. So we were there, at that point in time it was ready. Okay. Okay, so the entrance, entering the living room. So there you go. This house is almost done, and this is the living room. And over here in the kitchen, we are almost done installing the cooking hood. And this is the other living room with the fireplace. Okay. We've repainted the entire house. Alright, so I'm going to show you the whole video because, as you know, time is limited. I don't bore you too much. So this was when we staged the property. We put in the furniture. I mean, the furniture will not be sold with the property, but we put in the furniture by the staging company so that the buyer, when they come to the house, they will see how the house will look like for themselves. Okay, so that's our sale and listing service, $4,800 in value. Okay, so our total value now is, as promised, $28,780. Okay, so we don't want to make it too expensive for you. All right, and this is where I want to just be very upfront. Okay, the price is a lot lower now at $5,000. So we make it a lot more affordable rather than you go and pay for all this amount by yourself. Okay, we make it a lot more affordable because we have a group critical mass to lower down the cost. Okay, and make sure you don't have to expense this cost on your own. Right, and it's a 24-month service contract. Now, what does this mean? Doesn't mean that your investment ends at 2 years. Okay, what this means is all the compliance, all the renewal, all the CPA, the bookkeeping service will cover you for 2 full years. Okay, your business runs as long as you can, but the all these services is paid upfront by you for 2 full years. All right, at least. Okay, and then by the end of the 2nd year, your company will be making money by itself. It will cover its own expense after that. Okay, so for at least 2 years, the fee that you pay for will cover by itself. Subsequently, it will just cover on its own. Okay, all right, because your company already making money, so let it fund by itself. Okay, but for the first 2 years, we want to ensure that there's nothing else that we have to come to you asking for extra payment. Right, so you've paid upfront for $5,000. For at least for 2 years, you don't have to worry about any CPA costs, bookkeeping costs, compliance costs, state renewal fees. You don't have to worry about all this. It's already taken care of. Okay, all right. So essentially, as I said, we do 99.9% of the work for the investor like yourself. So you don't have to worry about, oh, what do I need to do? What do I have to do this? Do I have to go and knock the nails on the wood or whatever? You don't have to, because this is 100% done by us. We do everything. The only thing we cannot do is to put in your capital and sign for you. That's the only thing. We will ask you to sign the documents by yourself and then invest using your capital, and then we will work for you. All right. So let me ask you this: if all this did was this, okay, turn your dead money into a passive income machine. That's all it did. All right. Okay. Meaning you put in 10,000. Okay, and then if worst comes to worst, you get about 15% returns. It's $1,500 divided by 12. It's $125 a month in for as long as you want. Will it be worth it? All right, that's my question. Okay, will it be worth it? Turning 10,000 into $125 returns. Some people know I want $5,000 a month. I want $1,000 a month returns. So that's not easy, guys. That's tough. Okay, being able to generate the kind of returns every month. Okay, but instead you get $125 a month in passive income. Will it be worth it? $10,000, $100,000, $1,250. But that's compare it. Think it's dead money sitting in the bank, turn into a passive income machine. Okay, so that's my question. Will it be worth it? All right. Then the second thing that you can, if all this did was build yourself a profitable side business. Okay, it's a side business without needing any full-time commitment from you, like other businesses. Okay, it's 100% hands-off. You can do it. You can monitor. You have to monitor it just to be responsible as an investor, right? Okay, you monitor it, know what's going on. Okay, but you don't have to put in work and time into the effort into producing the income. Okay, and this is it's not a full-time commitment. It doesn't require any full-time commitment. Without full-time commitment, okay, it built you a side business run by us. We do all the work for you on the ground. Would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? All right. And the other thing, if all this did was to give you security. Okay, security during your retirement years, because you have all these passive income you build. Okay, you don't have to worry about my retirement. How much money do I need to make every month? Okay, or even if you want to sell a house because you want to fund your child's education. For me, my daughter already asking for theater studies in New York. She already booked for me, book it like 20 years in advance. She want to go learn theater in New York. Daddy, I want to learn theater in New York. I'm thinking where to find the money. Okay, if I have properties that I own, I can sell off the property for capital gains, and then I fund the studies for her. I don't have a couple of million just to send her now, right? I need to build it now. So maybe we can do the same for you, for your kids in the future, to be able to fund their studies by selling one or two properties that you own, sell it off, and then fund it. Don't have to worry. It will keep growing in value by then. All right. So this is something that all I ask you is, these are the three things. If all this was all these three, either of these three for you, would it be worth it? Just a question for you to think and ponder for yourself. Pause and ponder. Okay. So there are two choices here, guys. All right. So the first choice that I want to explain is this. First option, some people say, Ralph, can I put the money? You do all the work. I don't want to pay a single fee. Okay. And then we make money. I just give you a small percentage. Okay. And as a token. We do all the work and we put in the money, but we do all the work like crazy, but I only get a small percentage as a token, then it's not being very fair. Okay, so it's not going to be feasible for me as a business to offer you the lowest price possible, okay, and then risk your project to failure because I don't have enough money to run the whole thing for you. Will you expect me to create miracles? I cannot, all right, because running the project costs money too. Okay, it costs operational costs. There's operational cost to the whole thing. Right? So these are some of the things that I will have to explain. You have to anticipate there are costs to maintaining the company, to maintaining the property. Right? That's the first option. So second option, which is an option that I will advise now, is to offer instead not something so low, but affordable enough for you and for me, okay, to do the concierge from start to end but there's also a performance component whereby I'm incentivized to do good work for you, to sell at a good profit. And at the same time, I'm also able to keep me motivated. All right. So this is some of the things that I will ask for the investors. So this is the second option, to offer an affordable setup. Okay. So this is what we do. So what you're going to get essentially is the 24-month service contract that we do. Okay, is $5,000. That we make it a lot more affordable instead of 5,000. Some people say 5,000 is expensive, so we make it even cheaper for you. All right. So we make it even cheaper at just $3,500. Okay. So the fee that we will give to you is just 3.5K for all this work. Okay. And then we want to say in terms of Sky Flip and Sky Rental, how does it differ? So you can choose either one, either do Sky Flipping or Sky Rental. One, Sky Flip is what we call fat check. You got one fat check at the end. Okay. You buy, rehab, and then you sell. Okay. You are paid once every between 9 to 15 months, and then you roll over the flip. Okay. The returns is 25% and more for yourself. You pay 25% or more. Okay. And then this is meant more for higher risk takers. Okay. Willing to wait out the entire duration of the flip for it to complete. So this is for, it's called Sky Flip for all of you who are have a higher risk appetite for yourself. Okay. So Sky Flip, you can choose in the Sky Invest, choose flipping. The other one is renting. Okay. So renting is forever check. You get money every month. Buy, do light rehab, and then you rent out. And you are paid every month. Those who wants to get the money as fast as possible, this rental is a better deal for you. Okay, you get 10 to 20% net rental yield. Okay, it depends on the property, and then recommended to those who have lower risk appetite and would like to see passive income coming in very, very fast. This is who you are. You want this instead. Okay, this got Sky Rent. Okay, so Sky Duo means you do both. All right, you have two companies, one flipping, one renting. It's called Sky Duo. Okay, and the minimum investment can start for you, inclusive of setup fees of 3,500, is up to 10,000. So 3,500 setup fee, 6,500 in capital. This is something that you can consider. Then you will say, hey, Raul, but 6,500 capital, 3,500 setup fee, it's going to take me forever to earn back my setup cost. Well, let me ask you, what's the alternative then for you? If you have an alternative that can give you good return without any setup cost, then go for it. Okay, go for that instead. Not this. This might not be suitable. But if you're looking at it ending at 2 years, don't. Look at it instead as a business. 3.5K is a start operating cost for you. And then the 6,500 is like the investment that you put in for your business to generate more money. Okay, so don't look at it at ending in 2 years. Instead, look at it as long as you can, earning more money for you, and you will eventually reach a point, guys, whereby your 3.5K pays off by itself from the investment returns that you get, either through flipping or through renting. It will pay off by itself eventually. It's just a matter of time. And once it pay off by itself, because this is only a one-time fee to you, you don't have to pay additional after that. All right, once it's pay off by itself, all right, then you don't have to worry about, oh, I need to fork out more. Then no more. Whatever return, you keep everything. For the higher capital investor, of course, pay 3.5K, you put in 100,000. The slight return from your 100,000 investment can cover for the cost already. Okay, so this is a beauty for the higher capital investor. You have more money, then you can immediately cover your cost as fast as possible. All right, for the lower capital investor, don't worry. Look at it as long as you can, hold on to it. Right, 3.5K is just a starting cost. There's no other business out there that can let you start for 3.5K and then earn you this kind of returns as fast as possible. I can vouch. That's almost impossible to find. All right, so here are your next step. Okay, first, your investment is just one fee, the Sky Invest Concierge setup. It's just one fee. All right, it's 3,500 USD. Okay, it's just one fee that you pay for. And then after the setup, you deploy your capital. Okay, for your company. Deploy capital for your company. That's all you think of. Setup cost, setup, and then your company set up, everything ready. Now you deploy your investment capital. We will guide you on how to do so. Okay, and then to ensure projects are well managed and funded. Okay. 5% of the capital deployed that you invest. If you invest, example, 50,000, 5%, which is $2,500, will be set aside for project management purpose, which is for us to ensure that we can expense this as a project management fee that is paid to us, so that we can do all the work for you without needing to find our own money to go and manage the project. Okay, all right. So this is part of your capital. So we just want to be transparent by showing you, okay, this charge from your capital that you deploy. And that will also assist to lower down your total taxable income. Okay, the 5% fee is also will help to lower down your taxable income. All right, so we want to be transparent upfront rather than try to hide this project management fee in other things. We don't wish to do that. We want to be transparent with you upfront. Okay. All right. So Sky Flip, Sky Invest, Sky Rent. This is how it will work. All right. The fee is $3,500. The deployment fee is 5%. And now the last thing is when everything is sold or the rental income that you get, this will be the split. All right. For the Sky Flip, it's 60-40. If you are someone who invests less than 50,000, if you invest less than 50,000, any capital that you get back, the profit earned will be split 60-40. Okay. You don't have to deploy all 50,000 now. You can take 10,000 now, 20,000 later, 30,000 down the road. It's up to you. You have to take as long as you want. The moment you hit the tier of gold, platinum and above, you have the higher tier. Okay. So platinum is between 50K to 250K. All right. This is a 70-30 split. Okay. Meaning that you can, if example, you invest 100,000, you get back 180,000. Example, 180,000. You keep your 100K, which is your capital. The 80K you split 70-30. Okay. If you want to keep more profit for yourself, up to 80%, you invest more than 250K. Then you keep more profit on your own. All right. So this is our performance component. All right. Then that we will work for you. You're motivated to keep working for you. Make sure you keep growing your portfolio. Sky Rent is a bit different. Okay. You get to keep more of your income in Sky Rental, meaning that 80% of your income, in example, if the property earns $1,000 for the month, you get to keep 80%, $800 as your income, you take 20% if you invest less than 50,000. If you invest between 50K to 250K, you get to keep 85%. All right? We only take 15% as the fee for the month. If you invest more than 250K, you get to keep $90,000. So that's the total amount that you get to keep for yourself. All right? For us, if the property requires about $100 to fix, for the $1,000, $100, less than $100, right? So $900, okay, we split from the net. Meaning that the 90-10 will be split, or 80-20, 85-15 is split from the $900. The property must pay by itself first before we pay ourselves. Okay, so this is how we will make it fair for you to ensure your project is well managed for yourself. Right? So this is one of it. So this is the split, Sky Flip and Sky Rent split. Okay, Sky Duo is you have two companies, so we make it even cheaper. Instead of paying $7,000, we only charge $5,600 for you to do Sky Duo. To have two companies, okay, whereby one do flipping, one do renting. If you want to split your capital between the two, it's also possible. We make it even more affordable for you at just $5,600, okay, for you to do Sky Duo. All right. So this is, I'm coming near to the end, okay, and I'm coming to the end. Thank you so much to all 20 over of you staying throughout. It's almost 10:30 p.m. We don't want to stay too long, okay, and I want to say this for all those serious investors. Now I'm going to open a breakout room. And this breakout room is only invited for those people who you will only proceed if you meet some of these criteria. One, okay, you like what we covered and you wish to know the next step. You like it. Okay, so this is something that, okay, I want to know more, how to get started for myself. Okay, all right. The second thing is you want to create a long-lasting partnership with us. You're not someone who only want to look at something fast and only there when it's good and not there when things are bad. So we don't want that. We want to find someone who want to create long-lasting partnership. Okay, you're the mindset of an investor and a businessman. That's your mindset, not get-rich-quick scheme. Okay, you're not seeking a get-rich-quick scheme. So this is not what we want. Okay, someone who's thinking of getting rich quick. Okay, this is not the place for you because property is known as a get-rich-slow scheme. Okay, so we need to have the right people that we want to invest with, we want to be partners with. Not everybody is suited to do this. I'll be very frank and upfront. Some people cannot. And sometimes we decline and reject investors who on the grounds of either of their capital that they have, the situation that they have personally, or sometimes they're just doing too well outside. This is not really for them because anything I do, 30%, 40% is not going to be pleasing them. You won't please them because they're able to generate 50, 60% on their own. I will never be able to please them. Right? So some people we decline. Okay, but a lot of you, we would like you to join us in the special bonus breakout room. Only join us if you feel you meet this criteria and you really want to know more on how to get on board. Okay, so I'm going to be opening a breakout room with all of you, and this is how. Right, and those of you who's not going to join the breakout room, if you see, okay, this is done for me, I don't have anything else to learn, and I'm not interested at all. Okay, I thank you so much for spending your time to spend with us. Okay, appreciate it. All right, appreciate you joining us. Okay, but for the rest of you, if you want to know more, then join us in the breakout room.